Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world. Pull up a chair. It's time to get down to the business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. Glad to be with you all here this evening. As the trials and tribulations, at least the meteorological type, have passed us by here, and we are all able to get together here a little bit more comfortably. I'm glad to be with you all here this evening. Now, remember, YouTube, those unscrupulous bastards have us under a shadow ban, so please remember, I need for you to go ahead and share the program. That is a very, very important thing for you to do here. Don't assume that they're going to do it. They will not. You may not even get notifications, so make sure that you share tonight's program because this is going to be one you're going to want to be here for. All right, well, folks, because we actually think here, we don't respond to things we actually think here. One of the things we actually deal with in the world of thought is we deal with core concrete issues. And one of the core concrete issues really here, if we're going to talk about socioeconomics and power dynamics, ladies, I need to do a program here tonight so we can have some introspection. And we need to ask a basic question. Why are women today always broke? As a group, women are always broke. There are some basic core fundamental reasons for that. Many are biological. Some of them are actually sociological and social. But we're going to deal with all of that. So without further ado, we're just going to get right into it here. The number one reason why women are broken, you may not like it, but it's about damn time somebody leveled with you and told you the truth. The number one reason at the top of the list, surpassing everything else, superseding everything else. Most women are broke today because of their terrible choices in men. And what I'm saying is a woman who has a bunch of character flaws is going to pursue men who have character flaws. And understand something. Remember I taught you all that men gather resources. Women gather men. But what if you're a woman who doesn't know how to gather the right kind of men? Because there's a bunch of men out there. Your job is to be able to identify the kind that is going to improve your life. But what if you don't know how to make that choice? What if you're acting impulsively and emotionally and trying to go off of your feelings? Well, if he makes me feel a certain way, well, he must be the right one. And he'll take care, because I feel a certain way in one dimension, he'll take care of these other dimensions. I feel good about him sexually, so he'll take care of the financial, the social, and the intellectual. Or I feel good about him intellectually, so he'll take care of the financial, sexual, and social. Or I feel good about him socially, so he'll take care of the sexual, the financial, and intellectual. And because you're making emotional decisions, your choice in men is going to be flawed, corrupt, and destructive. Why? Because the single most important decision that a woman, you know I've been telling you all this now for well over a decade, the single most important decision that a woman will make in her life is the quality of the man that she chooses. That is going to be the single most important decision that a woman will ever make. The number one cause of women going into poverty, they say the number one cause is divorce. That's not the reason. A woman can get up and go get a job on her own. Why is it that what they're not telling you is that the number one cause of a woman going into divorce is breaking up with a man? Let me ask the fellas out there a question. To my dudes making $70,000 a year or more. Oh, I'm going there. To my dudes making $70,000 a year or more. I want to talk to that top 15%. To the cats making $70,000 a year or more, I want to find out. The last 3 women that you broke up with, the last 3, are they doing better today financially than they were when they were with you? Or are they doing the same or worse? Ladies, pay attention to chat room. Only the fellas making 70 G's a year or more listening to me right now. This is why y'all need to share this program so we can get the real thing going here. But to the fellas listening either live or recorded, think about the last 3 females that you were with. Think about your last 3 women. Some of y'all might have to think back a little bit. Think about the last 3. After they broke up with you, are they doing better today than they were when they were with you? Or did their situation stay the same or in fact get worse? If you were so bad and you were so awful and it was so terrible and this, that, and the other, okay, great, fine, wonderful. But by the way, in case you all are telling yourselves that marriage is the reason, that divorce is the reason, because women today are doing less taking care of children than they ever have, so they're going to perpetuate the lie that they're just, we're just sitting home taking care of all these, burping all these babies around here. But for the women that you're no longer with, they don't have marriage as an excuse. They don't have marriage as an excuse. So they should be able to show you where it's getting better. They should be able to show you that that breakup led to something better, but typically it doesn't. And why is that? Now, men understand this. Women have a very difficult time accepting this because in the modern era, because they've been sold a lie that somehow that is something other than what it truly is. Your biology is telling you men are workhorses. A productive man is a workhorse. He is going to work you under the damn table. And we're going to get to why that is here a few points from now. But a man is an amplifier. A man is an amplifier for a woman's decisions. If she has made a good decision, then the man you're with is going to amplify that. And if you have made a bad decision, then the man you're with is going to amplify that also. Now, the problem is women don't want to take accountability for their terrible decisions lately. In the modern era, they want to sit up here and blame men for their decisions. If you chose that man, just remember he will be an amplifier for your decisions. And if you are unfit to be there, then you will find yourself without. But ladies, take a look at your situation. If your situation deteriorated with the man that you were with, he is an amplifier for your decisions. You're not going to blame it on him. You chose him. He is your decision. Therefore, he will amplify whatever the quality of the decision is that you have made. The reason why a man is the single most important decision that you will make is because as a woman, you cannot prosper without a partner. Mic drop early. Ladies, as a woman, you're not going to be able to prosper without a partner. You need to have a partner. But most of all, you need to have a partner who's going to sacrifice. And as a woman, if you're trying to do it alone, you're walking out into the world with no backup. You got no backup. You're just by yourself, hoping for the best. And what happens is a few of you will get lucky, and whatever those token positions are that they have available, you'll get those. But you could be knocked off at any moment, and you know it. To make money, you have to be competitive. Women are not competitive. Not the way men are. Competition makes better men. Competition breaks women. The more competitive the environment is, the more they break down. Men are built to compete. When you put us under stress, we become more masculine. When you put women under stress, it either corrupts them or breaks them. But you need a man who you can partner with. You need a man who's going to have your back. You need a man who's going to present excess resources. You need a man. You can't do this by yourself. You have to have a partner. When you're a woman who's by herself, you are just a sitting duck. And you know it. You know it. You work with your white women at the job. When you go to the job working with white women, you know full well they're like, hey, I don't need this job. My husband got my back. And it feels good to be able to say that, doesn't it? I don't have to work. My man works. He's got a job with the union. He's a contractor. He's a regional manager. I don't have to do this. I work because I want to, but I don't have to do that. No wonder they come to work with such sunny attitudes. Oh, I'm about to hurt a bunch of feelings right now. Got to do it, though. Got to do it. If you want to know the reason why white women come to work and their attitudes are so sunny, it's because, technically speaking, their man makes enough income for the both of them. She doesn't need to work. She wants to work. So she can spend her time making your life hell. But when she comes to work, it's optional. She has chosen to be there. So a huge amount of that emotional burden is lifted off of her. Why? Because she actually made a choice. You didn't make a choice. You there because you got to be. You have to show up. You got to show up every day. You have to show up on snow days. You have to show up on bad weather days. You have to take only 2 weeks of vacation time and then get your ass back here. You have to be there, and they know it. And they press the advantage. They press the advantage. They know you have to be there, and so they gonna fool with you every single time. So your white and Asian counterparts, they don't have to be there. They are there because they choose to. It bring a little extra money into the house, but they don't have to be there. It's hella stressful being in the position that you have to be in, that you have no choice but to do it. That's hella stressful on you, especially when you're surrounded by a bunch of other women who they're not in the same boat with you. You feel left out. You feel ostracized. You feel on the sideline. You feel all types of bad because you want the position that they have. You want some of that leeway and luxury that they have, and you don't have it. Well, if you make the wrong choice in men, just understand there will be consequences. Consequences that you will have to deal with every morning you get up. Now that's going to break you. That is going to break you. Men are creatures of monotony. That's why when you go to the clothing store, when you go to Walmart, they only got one little old ass aisle for men's underwear, for men's socks. For women, it's this whole section. They got a whole section just for women's underwear. Men are creatures of monotony. Women are creatures of ornamentation. Women are creatures of variety for the sake of variety. Men are creatures of habit. We are creatures of stability. We are creatures of monotony. We can do the same repetitive task over and over and over and over and over again for days, weeks, months, years, and it doesn't crush our psyche. If you put a woman in that position, typically speaking, it's going to crush her psyche. Women don't have monotonous, repetitive psyches that can hold up under that. That's why the women want to get away from work. When you send them to the office, the men are like, we don't have to worry about the family. I don't need parties. Don't really need time off. For a woman, it doesn't matter how much she quote unquote likes the job. Women come to the job and the first thing they want to do is leave. They want to leave. They want to be the last one there and the first one to leave. They want to leave early. They want to have potlucks. The women insist on having potlucks. Well, that's time away from actually working. But women don't want to. That is not what they want to be there for. They want to get away from it. So the women want potlucks, they want office parties, they want vacation, they want carnivals, they want family leave, family paternity leave, medical leave. Yeah, they go to the job and then the first thing they want to do is leave. So you're not there because you want to be, you're there because you have to be, and now you're trashing the place after you got there. I'm just telling you what the facts are. Let's just be, can I be honest? Can I be honest now? I'm just telling you what the facts are. It's the women. The women get together and organize the Christmas party. You ain't never been to a job and seen the men organizing a Christmas party while the women get the Christmas party. They'll bring their own damn tree, their own damn ornaments, their own damn glowing balls, their own damn ornaments. They bring everything for you. All the men gotta say is, hey, you want to have an office, want to have a Christmas party. The women take care of the rest. The women do all the cooking. They do all the baking. They're the ones invested in that. If it was up to the men, there would never be a damn office party, Christmas party, Thanksgiving break, not a damn thing. It'd be nothing but work around this mug every single day. If you left it up to the men, it's the women who wish to break the monotony. The monotony doesn't break the men. It's the women who need a break from the monotony. They can't take it. They can't hold up under that. Oh, just wait until all the rip-off artists and knockoffs in the black so-called manosphere start repeating this and rewording it and try to take this as their own. Just wait till that shows up. But women need a partner. And you have no option except the man. That's it. That's your only option. You either have a man or you broke. Those are your options. You either have a man or you're broke or broken. As a woman, if you attempt to compete with men, you will either end up broke or broken. Wait till that phrase gets picked up. She will either be broke or broken if she attempts to compete with us. If she tries to compete with us, she will fail and be broke. And for the few who are able to financially keep up, they are broken. They are unfit to be with a man. The job becomes their man. The job becomes their man. The job becomes their spouse. The job becomes their husband. But I've just explained to you the reason why that is. So first and foremost, the primary number one reason why women are broke today is because of the choice, the quality of the man that they choose. If they choose good, it ends up well. But most women choose badly and it ends up horribly because they are not choosing based on characteristics that actually serve them. They're choosing based on characteristics that thrill them, that arouse them, that stimulate them, but not that actually sustain them. Because they tell themselves, well, it doesn't matter whether he can sustain me or not. I'll take care of sustenance myself. Okay, you say that, but as soon as we put you in the position, then your psyche begins to break. You're like, hey, when this nigga gonna get up and do more? But you said it wasn't necessary for him to sustain you. Yes, but when you're put in the position where you must sustain yourself, that's not a feminine position. That's not a feminine position, therefore it starts to crush your psyche. It's not a feminine position. It doesn't work because it can't work. Next up, number 2 reason why women today are always broke. Now, this one you all thought was going to be the first one, but it's actually the second reason. The first reason is when a woman chooses the right man, she can spend emotionally. Mic drop number 2. Oh no, people, this is a complete ideology. This is a whole and complete ideology. You won't see me going back and rewriting what I've said. You don't have people call me up and dispute it, and then I got to go back and backtrack and rewrite it and reword it, and then tell all of y'all, oh, well, that wasn't what I meant the first time, and then y'all just have to say, well, Jason cool, though. I mean, yeah, they proved it wasn't right, but yeah, we gonna go, everybody make mistakes. Nope, you won't have to worry about that with me. Yeah. If a woman wants to spend emotionally, she can do that if she's chosen the right man. If you've chosen the right man, she can spend emotionally and won't end up broke. Therefore, number one, choose the right man. Number two ain't an issue. If you're dealing with number two, you probably didn't do number one. But women spend emotionally, not strategically. Women spend on what they want, not on what they need. Women spend based on emotional outcomes, not strategic outcomes. So when they go to the store, they buy what they think the children will make the children happy. Oh, the kids will think this is so cute. And take a look at these little cute little shoes right here. When a woman wants to go buy a car, a man won't buy his damn dream car till he's in his 30s. And even at soonest in his 30s, but maybe not even until his 50s. But there's a reason for that, because as men, we want to make sure that this car isn't going to destroy our financial situation. You can tell the fellas who are raised by single moms, because those are the dudes who go off, and the first thing they try to do as soon as they get a job of their own, their biggest asset is a car. That car is the most valuable thing they own, not savings in the bank, not investments, they don't even have income they've made just enough money to make the car payment. And that works for a kept woman or a wife. That doesn't work for a leader. Now, young women, as soon as they get a job, the first thing they do when they go to the dealership, they go and try to finance the most expensive damn thing. They want their dream car, and they want it now. They will not sacrifice. They will not delay gratification. And anybody who has worked at a car lot, and I've owned a couple, when you see the women coming, they're not thinking. They're not thinking, they're feeling. So if she's always wanted that Nissan Altima, she's not looking at the price. All she wants to know is if the finance department can spin a deal that allows her to make the monthly payments. And that's it. And the finance departments at these dealerships are set up to give women monthly payments. Now, it's men who go through the work of saying, okay, let me get my credit together straight. Let me find alternative ways of financing it. And most importantly of all, what is the walking out the door price of this car? Because if this car is more than I make in a year, if this car is more than 50% of what I make in a year, that son of a gun probably needs to stay where it's at. Let me get something. Do I really need this? See, men are minimalists. We're monotonous. So we don't have to do that. But as women go to the dealership, and if that car is the right color exterior and the right color interior, she has immediately told herself, well, I can work for these white folk for another 12 years and pay this off. This is the best car ever. I've always wanted this. They get their little sunshades. Women always get these old big ass beekeeper, the shades that look like they make her eyes look like they got honeybee eyes, them big black spheroids. She's sitting there with her shades. She's got the little sunroof. Got the little Bluetooth, don't let it be a Bose speaker system. Not going to talk about Harman Kardon or Bang & Olufsen. If it's a Bose system, oh, she's balling. She got T-Pain bumping, Drake bumping, whatever. They get the little girly air freshener in the car. They either want pink on the outside or pink on the inside. They get the little air freshener, the one that smells like the flowers and chalk. Yeah, I said it. They got the little dangling thing. Women are always dangling stuff from the damn rear view mirror. Can't just have a rear view mirror. They always gotta dangle something from it. There's a chain. There's some dice. There's some fuzzy bobbleheads. But they start decorating the car on the inside. Can't just leave it alone. Can't just drive it. Here she goes. The passenger side visor is always down. Men leave it up. The women always fold it down towards the damn windshield. The passenger side sun visor is always down. But yeah, if she has an opportunity to get that Honda, she's got an opportunity to get that Toyota Avalon. She's got an opportunity to do that. That's it. The dealership is going to be like, okay, there you go. There you go. Because they spend emotionally, not strategically. And in the process now, car loans on average now are reaching 7 years as the average. Now, when I was a young man, 7 years was a Lamborghini. It used to only be 3 years to pay off a car. Then they introduced the 5-year note. Now they got 7-year and 10-year notes for regular production cars, not even for exotics. These are regular production cars that are basically a damn mortgage. She has signed away 7 years, people, 7 years. If your kids are old enough to not need a car seat, by the time you finish paying this car off, they're going to be probably out of high school. But you thought emotionally. Men don't get retail cards, women do. Men don't get retail cards in order to build credit. Women do. Women do. So they see y'all coming with that. It doesn't matter whether it's JCPenney, Kohl's, Macy's, Nordstrom, whatever. There's a retail card. They see you coming. Oh, you can save 10% on your purchases. Okay, you're still paying 90% of the price. It's not like they're not giving you anything free. Men don't get retail cards, women do. And don't let her have a breakup. Women spend money because it makes them feel emotionally better. It makes them feel emotionally powered. Thus, they spend money even when they no longer have it. Men understand there isn't enough money in the world to fix a broken heart. A woman, she's like, oh, there's enough money to fix that. Let me go buy me some Jimmy Choos. Let me go buy me Michael Kors. Let me go and get my hair done. Let me get some Ray-Ban glasses. Let me go get some ice cream. I'm going to get the good stuff. Let me go ahead and pile up on that. Let me take out a Netflix subscription. Let me go buy an iPad. When men have a breakup, we go into seclusion. When women have a breakup, they go to the mall. Got a whole damn closet full of crap. Because they spend emotionally, not strategically. In the chat room, Arthur said the gym and working fixes us. You notice that when women have a breakup, they don't go to the gym. There's a bunch of guys in the gym because they broke up with a female. There's a bunch of guys lifting weights right now, working their way through their ex. Women don't do that. Women don't go to the gym when they break up. They go to Ben and Jerry's. They go to, what's that, Aunt Annie, the pretzel place. They go to Olive Garden with their girlfriends. This is how she went from a size 8 to a size 12. She hangs out with her female friends and they reinforce that, and then they start spending money. And then when they run out of money, do they stop spending it? Nope, they just keep spending. Just rack up the debt. If you have a credit card, here it comes. Financial ruin right around the corner. That's why the choice in men is so critical, because you need a man who will be that disciplinary factor. You need a man who's got that discipline. That because he's monotonous, he stays on course and stays on track. So when rough things happen, you don't go off doing things you can't sustain. Yeah, when women break up, they want to go get a passport. They want to go get a passport. She gets a baby daddy, and her response to that isn't to get serious about life. Her response is to go get a passport, and then let me go visit Barbados. Because that's going to fix things. Let me visit Barbados. Yeah, that's going to work. Reason number 3 why women are broke today. Oh boy. Now we're getting into character issues here. Now we're getting into how you're socialized. Women in this society today, they truly believe that they are entitled to money. And by the way, before this broadcast is over, because yes, I am going to do this, we do what nobody else does. Fellas, this third point on here is a good one. This one is actually good. I know. Some of you think it isn't because you've been misled. You've been misled by your manosphere morons. Time to talk to a real man for a change. And let me tell you, number 3 is a fact of female nature. And number 3 is one of the most beneficial things a man has. But first and third on the list here, understand, women truly do believe that they are entitled to money. A large part of that is biology, but the other part of it is conditioning. No, all women believe that. All women believe that. There's some fat sows who later just give up on it, but we're talking about biology here. Women biologically and socially believe that they are entitled to being taken care of. Women expect somebody is supposed to come and take care of me. I'm not supposed to do this myself. Somebody is supposed to show up and do this for me. I'm not supposed to have to do this myself. Someone is supposed to bring that to me. And I'm going to come back to that one here before the program is over tonight. So we're going to skip over this for right now. But fellas, I know a lot of y'all, your teeth are grinding and there's smoke and steam coming out your ears. But I want you to understand, I love number 3. I love number 3. Number 3 is what a man is supposed to be on. Number 3. Oh, don't resent number 3. As a man, we're supposed to turn all these things to our advantage. And number 1 is the biggest, but number 3 is in many ways is equal, if not greater. We'll come back to that. Number 4. Oh man, going back to what I was saying in number 1 and number 2 and number 1 again, it requires sacrifice to make money and to have money. And the reason why women are always broke today is because sacrifice is an emotional meat grinder. Sacrifice is emotionally stressful. Sacrifice ain't easy. It's not a matter of just sitting there and you just say, well, I can sacrifice. No, you got to physically go do it. Sacrifice is hell. Sacrifice is hell. Women don't build. Because they don't build, they don't understand the cost of being a builder. Women don't build, they consume. And they expect men to do the building, and then they can come in and just walk off with the rewards. But being a builder requires sacrifice. And women, they do fine as long as they're allowed to consume. But when they're burdened with sacrificing, they fall apart. Because sacrifice takes a heavy emotional toll on you. You see, men can go through sacrifice and it turns us harder, but it turns us masculine. We can go through sacrifice and we turn it into something that steals us and that reinforces the man in us. Sacrifice breaks women. When we're talking about monetarily, a woman has to sacrifice. So when you break up with that dude, you can't go off and, as girls, when they fall down, we pick them up and we pat their hand and we rub their boo-boo and we put ice on it. With the boys, when we fall down, we tell them, get your ass up. Stop crying. And so when we come out here into the world, it's different. And not to say that that's necessarily a bad thing, but just understand when a woman goes through some hard times, it's time to start sacrificing. She can't do it. You bought your dream car because you refused to sacrifice because she needs something to look forward to. See, a man can hop out of bed and jump in his 89 Chevy Caprice and roll to work. A man can hop out of bed and jump in his 2000 Ford F-150 and be straight. We don't go buy a fancy car unless we think it's to pick up women. That's for the women. That's not for us. A man can jump in a 20-year-old car, and as long as he's not worried about social judgment or being judged socially, we'll drive that damn car till it dies. We don't buy all these nice things because we need them. We buy them because either we're dealing with other people trying to judge us or there's a female involved. We don't need a car to inspire us or give us an emotional boost to go to work. We'll go crank up old Rusty over here, make it do what it do. And that's it. But for a woman, man, she's got to have the right shoes. She got to have the right dress. She's got to have the right car just to make it to the driveway. Not to make it to work. She's got to have something to look forward to. So she needs that dream car because she's taken such a psychological beating that she can't even get out of the house. She needs the car just to inspire her and motivate her to get to the driveway. It's stressful. It's stressful. That's why women love the term harassment at the job, because a man telling her that she's got to get back to work, now she wants to say, oh, that's harassing me. No, it ain't. It's called working. You see, you can get deferential treatment from your man at home. You're coming to a job and still trying to get the same deferential treatment that you got from your parents or your man. Now she wants to yell harassment if you tell her, okay, you got to get back to work now. She can't sacrifice. The lifestyle that she was living when she was with a man, the lifestyle she had with him, she don't want to give that up. She ain't trying to give that up. She's trying to hold on to that. So even after she loses the man, she's going to keep going because it is too damn emotionally stressful to start sacrificing. You ever been to an amusement park as a kid and then you had to leave? Well, that's what women go through all the time. That tremendous drop, that tremendous fall off, that tremendous decline. That's what women have to go through all the time. When you talk about sacrificing, now they do make minor nuanced shifts where children are concerned. They'll make minor nuanced shifts, but on the whole, no. As a rule, a woman ain't trying to sacrifice, man. As a rule, a woman isn't trying to sacrifice. It's not in their nature. You can't. Women like to sample everything. Women like to experience everything. They like to touch everything. They like to feel everything. That's how hoe culture happens. They want to lay up with everything. They need a man to help curtail that and to regulate that. Otherwise, they go out of control and it's destructive. But no, even when it's time to sacrifice as a group, women don't sacrifice. Why is it that you think that black women have twice the obesity rate of black men? They live in the exact same society, and yet they're eating twice as much. Because men are more likely to sacrifice than women are in every area. Money, food, enjoyment. The women are looking at us like, damn, how do you even keep coming back to this place? Because we learn to acclimate. We learn to get conditioned to it. We learn to adapt. But as women, adaptation isn't really part of their biology or psychology. Adaptation isn't really a part of that. So when they leave a relationship with a man who's a producer, it's all downhill from there. She starts looking like hell, and eventually she doesn't start taking care of herself. Well, why not? Because there is no benefit and no reward to doing so. She can't afford to do it herself. She's going to go at it for a little while, but once her resources run dry, that's it. Now you understand where all the debt comes from. Now you understand where the car notes come from. Now you understand why woman after woman after woman after woman after woman today fits the exact same profile. She's not going to sacrifice if she doesn't have to. And if you screw up at number one, you're going to have to start sacrificing. Not going to be very hard to figure out there. You're going to have to. Last but not least, and this one is the most dangerous one for the men. I want the men to listen to me right now, because this is not a expendable, discardable one. To every male within the sound of my voice listening, this fifth one, this one right here is deadly. It is deadly to you. If you are number one, you are the right man. But fellas, your choice in females can be deadly. Because being poor is easy. Being poor is easy. Do you understand that? And a woman who is used to being poor doesn't really have a problem going back to it. Fellas, if you picked up a chick who comes from a poor background and she hasn't been with you long enough where she's shaking that off and she's like, oh, hell no, I ain't never going back to that. Understand something. Being poor is easy. And if the woman that you are with has not completely divorced herself from the world of being poor, understand something. She will be emotional, she'll be tantrum, and she'll do a Ray Rice. She's been poor, Ray Rice's woman, she's been poor so long that she doesn't mind destroying everything because it wouldn't psychologically destroy her to go back to that. Being poor is easy. It doesn't have obligations. Being poor is simple. It doesn't have responsibilities. So many of the things that we complain about with women today, responsibility, accountability. Yeah, when you're poor, you don't really have that. I mean, your life is a mess, don't get me wrong, but you're around other people whose lives are a mess. So as long as you're in light company, it's easy. It's easy. Poor folks want affluent people's benefits and resources, but they don't want to sacrifice or deal with the responsibility that comes along with it. So fellas, if you grab a chick who is used to being poor, for whom being poor is easy, she will be prideful, and in a moment of spite, she will try to destroy everything you have. You got to be careful with that one. If you're with a female who is used to being poor and being poor is easy, just understand you are in the threat of death. Because if she can't have it, she'll make sure you can't have it. You got to watch out. Just because a chick likes to buy nice things doesn't mean that she has let go of being used to being poor. Be careful. Well, Jason, how can I tell if she does anything that threatens your ability to make the money? She's letting you know that she's willing to commit suicide economically and take you with her. Do not ignore that. Those are not minor incidents. She is communicating to you and telegraphing to you that she's willing and able to go back to being poor again. She hasn't been out of that poor world long enough. Or the change hasn't been drastic enough. Say what you want to about Cardi B. Cardi B don't, and she's like, let me hang out with Offset a little bit because I ain't really trying to go back to being broke no more like that. I'm not really trying to do that. Beyonce, let me hang with Jay-Z. I ain't really built for the struggle. I'm really not. Ciara, she is pretending to be a Christian. She's pretending to be a decent woman. She ain't trying to go back to that life. She's like, I left there. This is the last train leaving. I ain't never going back. Now, that doesn't mean that the man needs to be with her, but just understand, she's like, yeah, you need to be with a woman who being poor is hard for her. If you're going to invest in a woman, fellas, invest in a woman for whom being poor is hard. Invest in a woman who she ain't down for being broke. She's not with it. That's where you want to be. You want to be with a woman who ain't with that. You want to be with a woman who being broke is hard as hell. She's not used to it. She's not trying to go back. And she's not going to do anything that endangers what she has. She's not challenging the program. She's with the program. And that's where you want to be. But fellas, the fifth reason why most women are broke today is because being poor is easy. So when things come along and knock them down, it's just easy for them to go back where they were. They need to go 5 steps up on the ladder. She'll get up to step number 2, and either she's on some emotional childishness or whatever, and if it knocks her back to number 1, she's like, oh, well, I didn't fall that far. Now, if she gets with a man who can upgrade her, and if she stays there long enough, oh, hell, now she don't want to go back. But beware of a female for whom being poor is easy. Beware a female of whom being poor is something she's used to. You want a female who is hard for her to be poor. Hard for her to sit up here and do without. Number 4, understanding has its place. It can serve a man's purposes within the right framework. But I will give you an opportunity to go ahead and weigh in on that, because I know we're going to have fellas here and whatnot, and I don't want everybody just talking about this tonight. But I'm going to go ahead and open up the telephone lines. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the business, the program that laid the foundation upon which all of your red pill, high value posers, MGTOW morons, manosphere midgets, and everybody else have ripped off and stolen everything that they got from. They'll be saying it next week after they hear it here and attempt to reword it. You'll be hearing it first now. So go ahead and give us the call, and we are going to go ahead and discuss that with you here. And to the ladies, if you are disagreeing with what you hear, let my mods know, and we will move you to the front of the line. If you are a female who disagrees with what we're saying here, you say that's not right, we will move you to the front of the line. Let my mods know. And after you call in, just give them your area code, and we will make sure that you are at the front of the line. So you will not have to worry about being heard. You'll be at the front of the line. The telephone number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. The reason why this is important is because I want you to also understand, when we talk about women, the reason why a woman shouldn't be broke is because a man's going to take a look at how you handle your money. And if you are bad at handling your money, you've already told him how you're going to handle his. That's the problem. If you are a bad manager of your own money, why should a man trust you with his? If you're a poor manager of your resources and you get with a man who has resources, he understands, we ain't a mix. I mean, we're a mix. We're not a match. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Let me be very, very clear about this. There are women who, you don't necessarily have to produce like that. Yeah, you might be a chick who you are a financial burden. And if you are hot enough, feminine enough, and cooperative enough, and easy enough to deal with, a man will shoulder that burden. Here's the problem. If you ain't between the ages of 20 and 26, you don't qualify anymore. So there's a brief window and a very select few females who can actually do that. And not only you have to be the age, the look, the build, the attitude. So ladies, you have to earn the right to be a financial burden. You gotta earn the right to do that. But enough from me for now here. Let's go ahead and open up the telephone lines. Let me get a caller from area code 337. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? This is Colin from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Colin from Lafayette, what's on your mind?
Hey, man, I just want to say that you're absolutely right about everything, man. And what I see out here is the guys actually go for the women that that don't mind being broke. They like it, and that's what actually holds them back. Is that they don't want the women that want them to do better. They just want somebody to stay comfortable with. And
right, but
next thing you know,
here's the problem. Here's the problem with that, and I'm from Louisiana, so I know Lafayette well. Brother, are you talking about producers, or are you just talking about the average guy? Because
no, I'm talking about average guy.
Yeah, the average guy, especially as black males, the average guy doesn't really take the threat. You live in a system that's trying to economically strangle you, and the average guy is average because he doesn't really take the threat seriously until something happens. Either he loses a job he really needed, he ends up homeless, or he starts getting older and realizing he's not going to be young forever and he doesn't have anything. So he better start stockpiling some resources. But the average guy, this is why, ladies, it is so destructive and so detrimental for you to sit up here and just be having sex with somebody. If you have sex with the wrong dude, just understand what's motivating him. If he's not motivated when he meets you, then just understand, as long as his basic needs are taken care of, he's got food, shelter, and sex. And the level of productivity that a man is generating when you first sleep with him, just understand, whatever level of productivity or trajectory he is on when you first sleep with him, that's where he's going to stay. Because you've lost your leverage. When a woman sleeps with a man, that's it. You done lost your leverage. Whatever, if he's not already producing and you sleep with him, that better be the right situation. He better be the right one, because you just lost your leverage. I'll let you have the last word.
Me and my mom actually talked about this because she's divorcing her husband. And what's crazy is my dad wanted to marry her for a long time. You know, he's a producer. He's making a lot of money, you know, in the oil field or whatever. And she, you know, they ended up breaking up, and she married a guy that, you know, he wasn't working at the time. And now, like 6 years later, she's leaving him. And I'm like, you know, I could have told you that before y'all got married. You know, like I told you, you know, he's bummed. You know, so she basically wanted somebody she could run over, and, you know, because she was making enough money. She owns a business and stuff. And, you know, like, I didn't know really what to tell her, you know?
I mean, she already knows, bro. Just understand, women play dumb about it, but the truth of the matter is they know that they're making simple decisions, but they have the expectation that they are entitled to it. So they'll make a simplistic decision, and then they're just expecting that because they're so wonderful, things will work out in the end. Then they're looking at you all shocked and crazy when it doesn't. But don't be deceived. They're not fooled. They know. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get a caller from area code 510. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Jason? It's your boy Chi coming out of downtown Oakland.
Chi out of Oakland. What's on your mind, brother?
Oh, man, this is gospel. When you said Ray Rice, that reminded me of a situation with Ari Fletcher, who dates that rapper Moneybagg Yo and G Herbo. She's a woman who she's used to being poor. So she would put hands on a dude so quick to destroy the whole empire, to destroy all the money. So I just wanted to say that I agree with you on that point. Just want to thank you. I don't listen to Kevin, the Perfume Pumpernickel, or Donovan Dole. This channel is the gospel channel. This is the University of Game, ice cold game, from you, Jason Black. I just want to say thank you for all the work you do, fam.
Well, you ain't heard nothing yet, brother. Just stay tuned for a little bit here, because we are going to go back and we are going to revisit rule number 3 from tonight. So hang on to your hats. You ain't heard nothing yet. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. That's my man Chi. He's always contributing to the program. Thank you very much for doing that. And to everyone who has contributed to tonight's program on Super Chat, Streamlabs, CashApp, thank you very much for doing that as well. Chi, OGK Network, Bondrick, everybody who's contributed tonight, thank you very much for doing so. It's very much appreciated. Let me get caller from area code 757. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Jason. My name is Kiki, and currently I'm in Las Vegas.
Okay,
Nevada.
take your phone off a speaker, whoever you are.
Oh, I don't have you on speaker. But
okay, you need to get closer to your phone, take it off of earphones or whatever it is, but it sounds like you're standing about 10 feet from your phone there.
Sorry, give me a second.
She's falling over her fine china in there. She's knocking stuff over on the table. Didn't mean to have that occur.
I got to get it together. I'm sorry.
Okay, what is your name and where you're calling from?
You know what? Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Kiki, and I'm calling from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay, Kiki from Las Vegas. What's on your mind?
So the only thing that, I was disagreeing with, if anything, was, when you were talking about sacrifice, because a lot of us women, I don't know, I'm going to only speak for myself. I'm not going to say a lot of us women. I'm just going to say for me, yeah, I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids, but I'm also, I guess learning, sacrificing, when it comes to the kids. It doesn't, I want to say it's not something that I'm afraid of as far as relationship-wise is concerned. But it's just the whole point of finding the right person to sacrifice for. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let's try this a different way. Let's try this a different way. Are you happy with your current socioeconomic situation?
Things can always be better.
Okay. So the answer to that question actually was no.
No.
Okay. But
Right.
here's the problem. I mean, women, instead of y'all just, this is what makes men better suited to deal with while we get out of these situations quickly, is because we're quick to say no. We're quick to say it ain't right. It ain't all right. We don't try to spare our feelings. And that time that it takes for somebody to break you of that and just to get to no, if you refuse to admit how bad the situation actually is, then why should we believe that you're fully committed to actually alleviating the situation? So, first and foremost.
Well, I'm not trying to dance around it, but
right,
I got you.
But you were. So I want you to have a come to Jason moment. But just understand, we start there. So you say you have how many kids now?
2.
Okay. By how many different men?
By 2.
Okay. How's that working out?
I don't talk to my son's dad. He's my older one. I don't talk to his dad at all. His dad didn't want to be a part of his life because I wouldn't continue to have a relationship with him. And my daughter's dad, I co-parent with him, but we're in 2 different states, and I currently have custody.
Okay. It sounds like you were doing a lot back then.
Well, actually, I was with my son's dad for 3 years and with my daughter's dad for 8. And wound up having her in the middle of our relationship.
Okay, but here's the issue. You were with people, but why is it that you were not worth marrying?
I was engaged.
Okay, ma'am, why were you not worth marrying?
Oh, I don't know.
Women need to stop that now. Once you by the way, you just did it again. When we talk about this, ladies, you all need to throw that engagement bull crap out the window. You're not making it better. That's not a consolation prize. We don't give any benefit to that.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody can say they were engaged.
Right.
That doesn't mean anything
Agreed.
except we're seriously dating. You can't prove you were engaged. And even if you can't prove that he really wanted to marry you. Or here's the way we need to say this. And I want everybody to understand this from now on. We need to say this as, were you worth marrying? Because if you were engaged and that man really wanted to marry you, he would have you as his wife within 30 calendar days. He ain't gonna sit there for no 1 or 2 years while you're sitting in a quote engagement status. A lot of females need to understand, ladies, if a man has left you in engagement status for longer than 3 or 6 months, and 6 months is a really long time. If you've been, quote, engaged for longer than 6 months, that's our way of friend zoning you. It's like, it's real and it's good, but it ain't real good. So, ladies, stop fooling yourselves and stop making fools of yourselves. When we don't marry you, we're letting you know, we're good. Now, you don't want to hear that, and women don't like to hear it said like that, but I'm just the guy who's just going to tell you like it is. We don't stay engaged.
Anyway.
Okay, we don't stay engaged to women. We don't. If a man wants you, he takes you off the damn market. He don't sit you there.
I wasn't really harping on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess
I'm saying this because we hear this all the time. We hear this all the time, and whenever you ask women about what they've done, you all rattle off the same list. He didn't work. Okay, but you had a baby with him. We was engaged, but nobody's married you. I had a lot of offers. Y'all run down the same list of cliches that are meant to save egos and spare feelings. And it's really just, no, ladies, stop it. It's getting embarrassing. Let's retire those terms. Those are not valid responses. And worst of all, they're not fooling anybody. Nobody thinks that this man was more committed to you after having that kid because you said, "Oh, wait, Jason, game changer. We were engaged." So that means isn't what you're trying, when y'all say we were engaged, what you all are trying to say is, well, isn't being engaged just as good as marriage? No, it isn't. That's why when we ask about marriage, you all say engaged as if somehow it's equivalent to marriage in some dimension. No, It's not. It means nothing. If you didn't make it across the finish line, it means nothing. So that might be something that you tell yourself to say, well, what I was doing I wasn't really out here in them streets like that because we was engaged. Okay. You was in them streets like that. And if you had 2 kids, 2 bastard kids by 2 different dudes,
I guess
you was in the streets.
I guess I'm happy I didn't marry them though.
Okay, but ma'am, but the damage is done.
I'm still a single mom.
Okay,
but I'm
ma'am,
happy that didn't happen.
Okay, here's the problem with what you just said. The damage is already done. These are psychological games you're playing with yourself. You're not playing with men. You're not playing with the rest of society. The damage is already done.
Oh yeah, I know. So that's for me to learn.
Right. I mean, okay, but you would have been.
That's why I only had the 2, and I didn't.
Ma'am,
I'm not out here with like.
But
5,
you would have
6,
been
7
better
kids,
off.
You know?
Okay, ma'am, don't talk over the host. You'd have been better off marrying one of them. Now you're just a 2-time baby mama shouldering all this yourself. You'd have been better off marrying one of them and having access to their resources. You don't even have that now. You don't even have that.
Is really worth the mental though?
Okay,
like
but you already did. No, they couldn't be that bad.
Really
ma'am, it couldn't be that bad because you already were with them. You can't sit here and claim it was so unbearable. If you had children by this man, obviously he was good enough. Now you want to retroactively go back and depreciate his value below 0. No, you can't play that game.
Not at all.
Ma'am?
Not at all.
Ma'am,
I'm not.
Okay, ma'am. Host is talking. Bad habits you're exhibiting. Ladies, if a man is good enough for you to gap them legs and drop a baby, understand something. Women don't do that willy-nilly. Y'all do that with a man you want to keep. The problem is sometime after you got pregnant, you decided you wanted more. The men don't change. You had a baby with the guy you wanted to have a baby with. The problem is you realized there wasn't a future after it. You started thinking about what you needed afterward. You were thinking about what you wanted before you got pregnant. And when a chick gets pregnant 2 and 3 times by 2 and 3 different dudes, that's telling you that she thinks this is the way to go through life. That having bastard kids doesn't do anything to her value. It doesn't impact anything at all. Nobody sees them any differently. And that's a problem. How old are you now?
I don't think like that at all.
How old are you? You're what?
I'm 39.
Okay, and how old is your youngest child?
13.
Okay, so you weren't a kid when you cranked that one out.
No, I had my son when I was 23 and my daughter when I was 27.
Okay, so you were not a child at all. So it's not naivete, and it's not I didn't know what these men were like, and it's not I didn't know the deal. It is, hey, I was out here in these streets, and I thought this was a game, and I found out the hard way. This ain't no damn game. This is not a damn game. This will beat the brakes off your ass.
My whole thing is having a child will either make or break a person, and you don't ever really know what somebody's gonna do.
No, ma'am.
Time comes.
No, ma'am. Having a relationship will make or break a person. And what you did not, ma'am.
You just said something about 30 days.
Ma'am, what you did not want to accept is that if no one was willing to marry you, then you should not take the relationship any farther. And the farthest you can take a relationship is when you start making permanent connections like having children. You've mixed your DNA, your bloodline, your DNA with 2 random males. Do you realize how much that's destroyed the value of having children with you? Your DNA is up for grabs.
I don't want it anymore.
Okay, ma'am, you say anymore. Ma'am, the damage is done. You just did it again. Well, I just said a few moments ago, you just did it again. You're acting now, but Jason, I'm stopping it from getting worse. Baby, the damage is already done. It can't get any worse. It's already done. You're not sparing anything. You've already done the worst.
Myself.
Ma'am, you've already done the worst.
I'm sparing myself.
You're not, the game is over. You're not sparing anything. The damage is
self-sacrifice.
already done.
Well, at the end of the day, all I was talking about was sacrifice. That's where I was at. You know what I mean? All I'm saying is, like, there are women out here that will sacrifice if they have to, but it just depends on the dude that they're dealing
Okay,
with.
but ma'am,
because a lot of guys,
what is the value of the sacrifices of a 2-time, 3-time baby mama? What value is her willingness to, quote, sacrifice?
I don't know. It just depends. I guess it depends on what we're up against, right?
Ma'am, I'm asking a simple question. What is the value of a 2- and 3-time baby mama by 2 and 3 different dudes? What is the value of her willingness to sacrifice for a man?
It depends on her. That's all I can say. It depends on her.
What do you mean it depends on?
Everybody's different.
What do you mean it depends on her?
What other women would
whoa,
do
what does that
what
mean?
I would do,
ma'am, slow down. What does that mean? It depends on her. I don't understand what that means.
It depends on what level of sacrifice she's willing to do.
Okay, let me try this one more time. What
good,
ma'am? Listen carefully. Stop talking. What good is the willingness to sacrifice to a man from a 2- and 3-time baby mama? What good is her willingness to sacrifice to him?
Jason, I need you to give me an example because I'm not exactly sure if I'm misunderstanding your question.
I'm going to give you an example yourself right now where you are.
Right.
Your willingness to sacrifice is a 39-year-old 2-time baby mama by 2 different dudes who obviously nobody thought you were worth marrying. No matter how willing to sacrifice you are, what value does that have to a man today?
Well, I guess it would depend on the man, right? Because if it was like a high value dude, my sacrifices wouldn't mean anything to him because I wouldn't have to sacrifice for anything that he's doing, right?
What I'm saying is that before when I asked that, you said, well, it depends on the woman. In reality, it depends on the man. The woman doesn't get to decide the value of her sacrifice. She doesn't get to decide the value of her sexuality. She doesn't get to decide any of that. Though that decision, that appraisal is left solely up to the man. 112%.
Correct.
It is his decision. He's the one who puts the price tag on it. You can go in hoping for whatever you want, but at the end of the day, it is the man who is going to put the price tag on it, and he is going to be the one who decides whether or not what you have to offer, what you have left to offer, has any value. That's going to be the issue.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, when you say that, well, there are women out there who are willing to sacrifice. Yeah, but it depends on whether or not the men see them as women whose sacrifices are worthy of anything. Because if all you have are a bunch of secondhand and third-hand dime store rag dolls, their, quote, willingness to sacrifice doesn't really have any value.
I gotcha.
So she can be willing, but she doesn't have anyone who's willing to buy. And if she has no one willing to buy, what is that going to do to her psyche? Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. Let me get a caller from area code 314. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Jason. My name is Art from St. Louis. I was recently in the chat, and I was looking at one of your points. It was the staying poor point. And I was in a situation like that with a woman. I had actually lost everything. Like, I lost my house and ended up, like, living in my car. I was homeless. I was still going to work. And I was trying to take care of this woman at the same time while going to work. Then I learned through that, while it being poor, that contempt of me being poor turned into disrespect. And when I I tried to elevate out of that. I was aiming to go to HVAC school. I was doing roofing at the time, and after I'd gotten it, I started off at 15 an hour, and then maybe within 3 years, I had doubled my income to $60K a year.
Okay, well that's a great feel good story. I do have a couple of questions here though, brother. How did you end up living in your car yet simultaneously trying to take care of somebody? How did that work? How is it you're trying to keep a roof over her head and yet you don't have one over yours? What type of arrangement did you all have?
We were in a relationship prior to us getting into that situation. So I was being foolish at the time, thinking the love and the feelings would carry us through the hard times, the struggle of and everything. She would love me when I was broke and love me when I got up. And then after I had gotten up, that contempt and the disrespect was still there. I'm just ironing out the point. So even when and then after I'd gone to where I was making good money, I was still getting disrespect. No matter how assertive or whatever, I didn't know my worth. I was being a simp. I was being a bitch. And it didn't dawn on me till then. And she was used to being poor. So her parents didn't come from like a good upbringing. So she had troubled past and everything.
Okay, brother,
but
so here's the issue though. Where was she living at this time?
She would cycle in between her uncle's place, and sometimes she'd try to spend some time in the car with me, I guess for some sympathy or some.
There you go.
I don't know what it was.
No, you do know what it was. Don't be embarrassed now, brother. Just let it all unload it, brother. Just let it all out, man. You ain't fooling nobody at this point. Right. Just let it go, brother.
She was at her uncle's spot basically. She'd go by to her uncle's spot because it was comfortable.
Okay, what you're telling me is that you got hooked up with some homeless broad somewhere is what happened with you.
No, I moved in with her and I was trying to play provider when I shouldn't have been playing provider. So I was the one messing up.
Okay, slow down here. Because first you said she was back and forth between her uncle and your car. Then you said I moved in with her. Moved in with her at her uncle's place or somewhere else?
Oh no! The move-in was before I went homeless. This was
okay, but that's what I'm talking. Okay, but that's what I'm talking about. So the both of you were living together.
Yes.
Okay, were you in an apartment or a house or what?
Apartment.
Okay, so both of you moved into an apartment together, and then what happened?
What happened? The money stopped coming. The car broke down. I couldn't get to work. I was surviving on basically nothing. And I was feeding myself either by hook or by crook, basically. And it got to the point where the stress built contempt, and then over time that turned into disrespect, and it turned into a whole lot of stuff. So it motivated me to get out of that, but at the time it was I ended up homeless after that. And then while I was homeless, she stayed in the car for a little bit. And after that, she was going to her uncle's. And then after I got better, went to HVAC school, got my 6 certifications.
Okay, let's back up a little bit here. Let's back up a little bit here, though. What happened with the apartment? Why did you wind up losing that?
The money stopped coming on that one.
Okay, brother. Okay, the money stopped coming. What does that mean? What does that mean? The money stopped coming. What does that mean?
I made a poor decision where I'd gotten out of the military and I was living basically on the GI Bill from the military.
All right.
And while trying to subsidize the house at the same time.
All right. So what you mean is that you were not handling business. And you found out that a woman, no matter how bad her situation is, she's eventually going to make a decision and be like, damn this, I'm going to hustle these draws, whatever I got to do. But if this guy isn't going to produce. So basically what you're saying, you were talking about rule number 5. I think you need to revisit rule number 1.
All right.
Because here's the issue. And I'm glad to see you got things turned around now, but you need to understand what really went wrong. Brother, let me tell you, brother, something. No woman is interested in being your partner in your struggle. A woman will be with you while you are working to overcome a problem. A woman is not going to be with you when you are stuck in a quagmire and there's no way out. Because a woman believes that your primary responsibility as a man is to solve problems. That if you encounter a problem, you're supposed to solve it. Now, let me find out here. From the time that you said that you made a bad decision by leaving the military, correct?
Yes. After I left the military.
Okay, that's a yes question. Okay, that's a yes question. That's all. All right. From the time you left from the time you left the military to the time you were living in your car was about how long?
That was, I got out in 2015, and to the time I went homeless, I was maybe about 8 months. About 8 months.
Okay, so from the time you left the military and she met you when you were in the military?
Yes.
Okay, so your woman met you in the military and you were able to screw it all up within 8 calendar months. Do you realize how she felt about that, by the way? She chose you. She put the decisions in your hands, and literally you were able to trash it within a little over half a year. So understand.
Yes, that's correct.
Understand how she felt. She felt like, oh, hell, I bet on the wrong damn horse. Now, understand something else. Now this is why you're fixating on number 5, because understand something. Fellas, I did a program here last year. I want to say it was last year or the year. If it wasn't last year, it was the year before that. But when I was talking about, fellas, how women punish failure. Women punish failure. You don't have to like it, but women punish failure. Remember the other program I did, Delusions of the Average Guy. You all can go back and check that program on the business, Delusions of the Average Guy. Before the manosphere and wannabe value and everybody else started stealing it all. Delusions of the Average Guy, stealing it and messing it up. When I taught you all, women punish failure. Let me be very, very clear. Women are not amoral when it comes to failure. This is something that men don't like and men don't understand. Or should I say the average guy doesn't like and the average guy doesn't understand because it doesn't serve what he wishes to believe. Women punish failure. A woman believes in punishing failure. Let me explain to you why. It comes back to entitlement. Because a woman knows that when she chooses a man, she's betting on you. And she believes, now whether this is rational or not is a different matter, but she truly believes that if she's opened her legs to you, that you owe her something. A woman truly in her heart of hearts believes that if she's been opening her legs to you long enough, you owe me. You owe me resources. You owe me a marriage, which is really a commitment of resources, but you owe me. This is why so many women keep telling us that I was engaged. It sounds silly as hell, but Jason, but I was engaged. Why they keep saying that nonsense? Because in the minds of the female psyche, if I've been opening my legs to you this long, sex is a down payment on a marriage. You owe me. If I've been gapping these legs for you, especially if I've been doing it for a long while, nigga, you owe me. So understand, if she bet on you, and the bet came up snake eyes. She could have understand the way women think, fellas, and they ain't gonna tell y'all this, but understand something. Y'all hear the thing when they say you weren't you weren't the woman's first choice. Chris Rock made that joke. Most men have a low level of hostility towards women because they understand you weren't her first choice. Brother, that woman you were with, you weren't her first choice. She had a choice between you and somebody else. And even if the somebody else really didn't pan out, she's still kicking her own ass because she's like, damn it, at least with the other one, I don't know how it would have gone. Maybe I could have motivated him better. All she can do is focus all of her anger and animosity towards you because you're the one available. So if she bet on you and the bet came up badly, she's angry. Because she's like, I'll be damned. I could have been sleeping with this nigga's cousin. I could have been sleeping with Bob at his job. I could have been sleeping with somebody or anybody else other than him. I didn't have to sit up here and lay up with you. I could have been laying up with somebody else. Now, women don't like to talk like that, but the truth of the matter is that's what every woman thinks. When a relationship goes bad financially, she says, damn, I could have been sleeping with your brother. I could have been sleeping with your cousin. I could have been sleeping with somebody who had a coupon at Hardee's. I at least could have done that. I didn't have to be sleeping in your damn car with you. So now she feels like you stolen from her. Fellas, this is the female psyche. This is the way in which women think. This is what women really believe. This is how women really feel. Women truly feel this. That you owe her. And if it comes up badly, she's wasted her time. That you are responsible. You tricked her into wasting her time, so now she's gonna punish you. And you can say it's irrational or whatever. Women are not gonna take accountability for her mistakes. She chose you, and as far as she's concerned, the fact that she chose you, that should have been enough to kick you in gear. That should have been enough to kick your ass in gear. And since that didn't happen, gotta punish you. And that's the way she's looking at it now. So I want the fellas to understand that's the way in which women think. That's the way in which women feel. That if you don't fit the bill, she's going to punish you. And that was what she set out to do. First thing they do is go after you emotionally because they don't have anything to do with that. She doesn't have any way of being able to go after you financially or something just yet. She can't whip your ass with her hands. She's going to whip your ass some other way. I want guys to understand that because how old were you when you left the military?
I was 22.
That's the reason that you didn't see that coming.
Yes, I learned a lot, and at the end of the day, I can't put it on her. Like it took a while for me to introspect on this. Like at the end of the day, I can't put this on her because I realized I wasn't doing what I needed to do, and I was taking roles that I should not have been taking. Well, I was not making the money that I shouldn't have been making. So I'm not in HVAC anymore because of a near-death accident. I had a pure near-death accidents with electricity, but I'm headed towards IT right now, and I'm putting my brother on game to not get involved with women before his money's right. So he's not making commitments he shouldn't be making, and they basically put his production first, put his money first, and
I'm gonna make a suggestion to you here. How old are you?
Right now I'm 27.
Okay, so it's only been 5 years. Stop all the hopping around, because when I start hearing dudes give me they bad luck stories, everywhere you go it's a bad luck story. I was in the military, okay? How by the way, how long were you in the military?
Just 4 years.
Okay, how long were you in HVAC?
HVAC, I was in there for about three
Okay,
and a
so
half
you
years.
get the idea. So in the military, a little over 3 years. Well, what happened? Well, some things went down. Okay, well, let's switch to I need to do something different in my life. Let me rebuild. Okay, it goes to HVAC. Are you still in HVAC? Nah, I had to leave that. Okay, well, how long were you there? About 3 years. Well, what happened? Well, some things went down. So my ears go up when I hear a fellow who's constantly restarting and restarting and restarting. Because women understand, and this is why you get punished by them, women understand that she can't afford to keep restarting from zero with every man. Now, sometimes they play the field too damn long, but they can't afford to restart from zero. Every time a man changes jobs or chooses careers, you're restarting from zero. And you're wasting you waste precious years that you will not be able to get back restarting from zero over and over and over again. I can understand being in a hazardous environment. I get that. What I'm saying is, when I hear a guy give me the same story over and over again, there's only one common denominator. And he's starting from zero and whatnot. When I'm saying that doesn't bode well for the future. You need to start growing, especially at the age you're at. You need to start growing roots. Better yet, you need to start seeing like a people should see marriage. You need to get in there and make that son of a gun work. But you can't just keep hopping from one place to another, and especially in your 20s, and you're starting from zero every time. Well, I'm going to switch to this, let me switch to that, let me start over here. You're hopping around. So far, the first decade of your adulthood has fallen off the calendar, and you don't have a limitless supply of them. So stop the hop. My biggest piece of advice to you right now is stop the jumping around. Your next move needs to be your last one. No, come what may, no more jumping around.
I understand. Yes. I fell back into.
Well, what I'm saying is, okay, well, you hear now.
Yes.
The next move needs to be the last one. No more excuses. Our next move is our last. From here, we build.
I understand, Jason.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, you can't jump around and be erratic and expect to be able to build anything. And when you fail to build anything, don't be surprised when the women punish you for failure. Women punish failure. They are not, apathetic about that. Women punish failure. Women absolutely believe in punishing a man who has failed. She believes she has invested in you emotionally, and that's it. If you just show her her emotional investment, her physical investment, she could have allowed anybody else up in her body. She's allowed you in, and you're going to just trash, and it comes up snake eyes, and she's like, oh no, I don't owe you anything. See, men believe that if they've done a little bit of productivity for a woman, that she owes them loyalty. Fellas, when you have sex with a woman, that doesn't entitle her to commitment. And when you fail to produce, that doesn't, her being with you doesn't entitle you to her loyalty. Understand that you are not going to be entitled to her loyalty. Well, I don't have to produce anymore because she's loyal to me. Dudes, you can't fall off like that. You can't fall off like that. You cannot fall off like that. Let me get caller from area code 678. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Niran from Stone Mountain.
Okay, you're fumbling with your phone over there, whoever you are. Let's get together there. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Niran from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Okay, Niran from Stone Mountain. What's on your mind?
I got a question. It's about the resources. I'll give you the scenario. I'm 43 years old. My girl's 40 years old. I managed to be able to get a rental property, and between my rental property and another stream of income, I've been able to pretty much all my basics is taken care of, so I don't have to work. I mean, it's not $70,000, it's $40,000, but it's $40,000 in my sleep. Now, my girl, she has her own house. She has way more resources than I do. And of course, she saw what I did, and she's like, well, show me how you did it. And I'm trying to show her how I did it using her resources. And she's saying, well, no, you're my man. You're supposed to use your resources.
That is correct.
So the question is, okay, so that's all I want to know.
Okay,
Am I
well,
supposed
slow
to be
down.
using
Slow
my
down.
resources
Slow
to help her?
down. Okay, slow down. You're making all types of mistakes right now. Okay? I just want you to understand. You are making all types of mistakes right now that you should not be making. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have a job?
I have my own company. I'm a contractor.
Okay, let's try this again. Do you have a job?
No.
Okay. You say that you are self-employed as a contractor. Contracting doing what exactly?
Flood restoration and carpet cleaning.
Okay. It's good work if you can find it. And a lot of that going on right now. We just had a huge snowstorm come through the southern United States. Good work if you can find it. However, I do have a question. How much do you make just from your contracting, not from your real estate?
Still building, so $20,000 a year.
Okay.
On average.
In other words, your contracting is just a side hustle.
Correct.
Your financial situation is very precarious. I want you to understand that you are in an extremely vulnerable position where she is concerned. Your financial situation is very precarious. Well, Jason, I'm making $40,000 with my real estate. That's great. That's wonderful. Problem is, you're making $40,000. Do you have houses? Do you have a multi-unit dwelling? What do you have?
I have a just a single family unit that I rent out. And then of course I yield what's it called? $1,500 a month. And then I have my VA pension.
Okay. Now, because when you started off by saying that you were making $40,000 a year in your sleep. Now you're telling me you're making $1,500 a month. Something's not adding up here.
The pension and the monthly income combined average around $40,000.
Okay. Well, that sounds a little bit different because the way you characterized it before was trying to link it together to make it sound like it's just from real estate. But in reality, your real estate's making about $16,000 a year. Okay. That house that you bought, that was from your VA pension? Was that like a VA loan?
No, I bought it cash. I'm about to use my VA loan now.
Okay. I see all types of ways that this will go badly for you. I do not want it to, but I am just giving you some forewarning. I can see where this can go badly. You are stretching yourself financially. The house that you said you bought, did you pay? You said you paid cash for it?
Correct.
How much money do you have in savings in the bank?
About 15 now.
Okay. That is not a lot of money. So I don't know what, even with the VA helping and whatnot, if you try to go get another dwelling, that's going to stretch you. So what I'm saying is this is a rather precarious situation to be in. It's financially precarious. Even with everything you got going on now, I mean, you're barely, after taxes and whatnot, you're making less than $50,000 a year. Doesn't mean that you're not building right now. That's all great and everything. But just understand, let's not give ourselves too much credit for where we're at. You're in a very precarious situation. Very precarious.
Okay, so in terms of her resources, because our resources combined would put us in the $80,000.
I'm not. We'll come back to her. We'll come back to her. We're dealing with you right now. We'll come back to her.
All right.
We'll come back to her. I got some questions about what's going on here with you because I've been there. Okay, I've been there. I screwed it up, so I've got experience in this particular field. I hear a couple of things that sound very familiar to me. All right, now, I don't like to talk about myself and whatnot personally, but I'm hearing some things that sound very, very reminiscent of a young, irresponsible man that I knew. How much money is your goal to make now? What is your goal?
My goal is probably to make at least $9,000 a month, getting more real estate. My goal is to use the Burr method, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat until I get to the $9,000 a month.
All right, now everyone listen very carefully to what he just said there. Okay, he wants to make $9,000 a month, so he wants to make what, $108,000 a year. He wants to own a business that makes middle class income. So essentially he wants to buy himself a job at tremendous debt to himself, by the way. He wants to buy a job. Think about that for a few moments, okay? Your goal right now is to buy yourself a job. What city do you live in again?
Georgia, Stone Mountain.
Okay, so you're in near that Atlanta area.
Correct.
$90,000 a year in Atlanta. You think that's good money?
Then you're buying a job is incorrect because, as I said, I'm going to be a landlord. So $9,000 in my fleet,
sir.
That's excellent money.
Sir, okay, if you're not listening to what you're saying, how many people make that amount of money that you're breaking your arm, getting elbow tendonitis, patting yourself on the back for? How many people in Atlanta make that money at their job and do not have to go into hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt and don't have to worry about maintenance and taxes and everything else? How many people make that at a job now? Thank you. Okay.
We'll just say
yeah,
okay.
Thank you. I'm trying to enlighten you to something, okay? You are, fellows out here, you're not thinking of it the right way. It's hurting your little egos. Get your chips off your shoulders. I'm trying to help you here. I had the same situation with a man who was a financial wizard, and he told me I couldn't have something I wanted to have, and he told me I was aiming too low. I got up and walked off. 6 months later, I was out of business. I didn't see the turn coming. I thought $200,000 was good money. And this was back when I was 23, and you aren't even aiming for half of what I was making. You don't understand or see how quickly it can collapse. And the VA is not going to be something you can go back to the well for multiple times. And while you can attempt to leverage properties, there's actually a limit to how many times you can do that. Don't let anybody sell you on this nonsense that you can just go off and go reverse mortgage, refinance, equity loan, and bridge yourself to multiple properties. It's not going to work that way. A lender is only going to let you do that 2 or 3 times. They're going to take a look and see how many properties you're financing. Don't let anybody tell you that that's not going to happen. Yes, they are. Folks on the internet can tell you anything. A lender, once you get to 3 properties, the lenders are going to cut you off. If you're carrying 3 mortgages, you're done. You're done. A lender would be insane to lend you 4 or 5 mortgages. That is why that's why people eventually have to migrate to commercial real estate, because they're not going to give you 4 or 5 mortgages. That won't happen. So tell yourself that'll occur. Fine, give me a call back when it works. And I promise you I won't gloat and I won't rub your face in it when you tell me, hey, it didn't quite work out that way. I know it won't work out that way. I know it won't. There's not a realtor on this planet who's going to tell you you can do that. So you're going to be able to.
You're doing it wholesale.
You're going to be able to get, okay, if I get one more person tell me about wholesale, I hear a bunch of people claiming they're doing great and wonderful things. Not one I've been able to ever actually verify. If I could actually verify it, I'd be talking to them, not the other way around. They all claim that they've got all sorts of wonderful things and whatnot, and so far, nothing. So I hear that all the time. But let's just be very, very clear. At 40-something years old, even with all your maneuvering, a little over $16,000 a year. Take it from somebody who's been there and done that. I'm not belittling it. What I'm saying is that you are going, your ambitions are going to have to be a lot bigger than they are. Otherwise, all you've done is buy yourself a job. That's all you've done. The houses don't take care of themselves. Land maintenance and cutting grass doesn't take care of itself. Making sure folks ain't destroying your stuff ain't going to take care of itself. Taxes and insurance ain't going to take care of themselves. And an absentee landlord is a fool waiting to watch his investment go up in smoke. So, no, sir, you make money in your sleep, but a business owner does very little sleeping. That's a cute little cliche we tell people, but the truth of the matter is, show me a man who wants to make money while he's asleep, and I'll show you a fellow who won't be in business very long. He's going to have a lot of sleepless nights while he's going broke. Show me somebody who prides themselves on, quote, making money while they sleep. And this comes from a guy who makes passive income myself, and I sleep less now than I ever have in my life. You can't be productive while you're sleeping. You also can't supervise while you're sleeping. You cannot protect your investment while you're sleeping. I was also 23 years old. Jason, if you say the size 6 waist, no, I'm not going to say that part. I would just say I was doing plenty of sleeping. And it was the worst mistake I ever made. So when people say those words to me, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're new here. It doesn't work that way. Warren Buffett don't use phrases like I make money while I sleep. And we all know he does. So how is it that these people who do a whole lot better than us, and none of them say phrases like I make money while I sleep? They don't make that the foundation of it. They understand that's not a positive. If you're asleep, other people are working. You make more money by working, not by sleeping. You protect your investments by watching, not by sleeping. So I'm telling you, you done, as someone would say, hit a lick. Okay, you hit a lick. That's nice. If you can roll that over 1 or 2 more times, that's okay. Don't get me wrong. But you're really going to need to start looking towards the future. And right now, your situation is very precarious, which is why she's acting funny style. Because we can't fool women like that. She's done the math. She's not impressed. And that's what I'm saying. The words you use and stuff like that, I would make a suggestion to you to start divorcing yourself from thinking you're impressing people when you do that. It's not impressing them. And she knows it. She's probably worked with people who make more money than you aspire to. And if you gave her that 90,000 figure, dude, you might as well go ahead and just let her lay up with some other people now and just be done with it. If you actually told her your goal was 90,000, I hope you didn't say that to her. Because if you did, she's worked with people and she's like, $90,000? Damn. He wants to buy a Mercedes and be done with it. Can you even buy a house in the Atlanta metro area just making $90,000 a year? And if you do, what type of house is it going to be? So when she takes a look at where she wants her life to be in 10, 15, 20 years, she's got to ask herself, is this guy on the track to that, or is he a fellow who let good enough do? He's got low ambitions and let good enough do. Now she's like, okay, well, let me get the game from him. But at the same time, she doesn't want to have to finance it herself. She is sending you nonverbal cues that you are not productive enough. And everything she's saying is doing that. But she's also telling you something worse. You are sounding dependent on her. And that is something that a man cannot do. A man can make requirements, but he cannot be dependent. You shouldn't be trying to show her anything. You are making a horrible mistake. There's no way this turns out well. You are trying to do this. You are trying to make her your partner, and this is not gonna end well. You don't need to explain anything to her. You don't need to do anything except get up, get out there, and go get it. That's all you need to do. But you do not need to sit here trying to game her up. She will be just as happy if you go out there and get it yourself. You have no business whatsoever going back and forth with her about her resources and helping her this, that, and the other. Drop that all together. You get out there and triple grind and get it yourself. But stop trying to show her anything. You just go show her you can make it happen. But stop this altogether. Don't do this. Because she doesn't even want it, by the way. She doesn't even really want it. She's only saying it because she doesn't believe you're going to go far enough. And even if you do, brother, she doesn't want to be the boss. She wants to be with the boss. You think you're going to take that from her and then she's going to respect you? Women will often ask men to do things that cause us to disrespect them. Guess what? Men do the same thing. We ask females to lay down. We want easy sex. And as soon as they do it, we don't respect them. And she's like, well, damn, I did what you asked. So you can do this, but just understand this is going to backfire on you. It already is. Even if you succeed, do you really think that she's going to have 3 or 4 properties of her own that she manages and she's going to maintain her level of respect and deference for you? Hell no, you just transformed her into your competitor. And you think y'all's situation is going to remain the same after you do that? You might have good intentions. Bruh, this is going to end badly. You are creating your own competitor that you sleeping with for now. And then as soon as she feels like she's got enough information to challenge you, you're going to be looking crazy. Talking about these women ain't loyal and I helped game her up and she started talking to me more crazy after. Okay. What did you think was going to occur? You get up and go get it. You don't need to talk to her. You don't need to mentor her. You don't need to educate her on a damn thing. Does she have any kids?
Yes.
Nigga. All right. There you go. And do you have any? How many kids do you have?
1.
All right. There you go. Is your woman black or white?
Black.
Is she mixed?
Nope.
Okay.
She a red bone though.
Well, okay, but are you?
No.
All right. Well, you got your high yellow chick in Atlanta. What could possibly go wrong? What, a high yellow single mom in Atlanta. What could possibly go wrong? I don't say these things to be mean. I say these things because it's time that folk think about this. It's time that you fellas actually start thinking these things over for a change. Take a look at the situation, not where you wish it were, but where it actually is. This woman has already been with one dude. What do you think's gonna happen? You're not making yourself more valuable to her by doing this. She doesn't want you to do it anyway. You get up, get out there, go make it happen. If you cultivate her, the best that will happen is she will constantly have tempt and challenge you, the worst that will happen is she's going to have open contempt and be your competitor. And it'll just be a matter of time before she leaves then. And I'm not saying you necessarily even need to stay with her. I am saying that you are going to drive your value down by insisting that she must become a producer. That's going to drive your value down. Because if she can go get it herself, why does she need you again? You all are not thinking those things over. If she can go get it, if you show her how to go get it herself, why does she need you? Number one, your ambitions are not big enough. If you're going to go into real estate, your ambition is supposed to be $1 million, not 90,000. This will never work. You're in a market where profits are measured in millions and billions, and you talking about 90,000. You just looking for, you doing like a lot of military dudes and whatnot, and I give y'all a hard time because y'all deserve it. A lot of military dudes just looking for some place to go, let me go get an old car with some wheels and go sit my ass down. Y'all need to be out here grinding. Y'all supposed to be out here making it happen. Niggas looking to go sit down as quick as they can. You're not going to get respect from anybody, least of all her. And she sees that that's what you are. And I'm just telling you right now, she sees what I see. And she's just like, okay, this fella wants to sit. Let me get the game out of him. And by the way, you said she's a single mom. Does she have a son?
Yes.
Okay, how do I know all this? By the way, how do I know all this? How is it I'm hitting each one? I know she got a kid. I know you got one. And I know she has a son. How is it I know all this right now? I know what y'all are thinking. It's Negro Damas. I know what you're thinking. It's Jason the Magician. All right. No, dude, she has a son. And you might be a good masculine role model for her son, but she sees on the socially you okay, but on the financial end, you are lacking. She's in a place where there's $1 billion developments and the dude she with is talking about making a job. And he doesn't see it. And she can tell, oh, he just wants to sit down. He's from the military. He really just wants to sit down. The dudes in the military want to retire at 30. He's like, I'm way overdue for retirement. He wants to go sit. And she's like, okay, let me get the game out this nigga and go help my son before this fella over here goes and sits down. Because this is something that can make millions and he don't want to do that. So let me see if I can get the game for my son. Because this fella ain't going to do it. That's where that's coming from.
Now, question. Now, in terms of, because I'm a realist, so when I said that number, I'm thinking realistically. Now, how would you scale that up into millions and billions?
I asked you your goal.
With the resources that you have now.
I asked you what was your goal.
Okay,
I didn't put a timeline or anything. I asked you the most important question. What do you aspire to? And you told me. It wasn't about no realistic, and that just says more. Well, this is what I feel like I can do. I feel realistically, I feel like 90,000. I mean, I'm making 20 now. Hell, that's damn near 5 times I'm getting. I'm that good money. Yeah, you were fine with it until I started saying, by the way, where do you live again? Oh, I'm in Atlanta. Well, I'll be damned. How many folk in Atlanta are already making $90,000 at their job and you working to pile up real estate and debt to make $90,000? Yeah, but I ain't got to work to get it. Oh, you just want to sit down then. All right. So you're going to do the bare minimum. You meant what you said with that $90,000. You don't really live on a lot. You don't cost very much. You're going to get you a shack somewhere and be like, okay, well, this pays for it and whatnot. And then just go into vegetation. Your woman ain't ready to vegetate. So what I'm saying is she's going to get the game either from you or somebody else, and then she's going to outgrow you because she sees you don't really have any ambitions. That's the problem. And if I saw this and it took me just a few minutes to see this, if she's been with you for more than a year, she's full. She is all the way full. She's had enough. She's ready to see this thing go to the next level. And if you ain't gonna get it, she's gonna get it. Now, she's probably not gonna try to do it herself, but she's gonna be like, well, damn, all I gotta do is learn the system from him. I'll go lay up with another nigga, and he'll take care of that. If this guy ain't gonna do it. And you're begging for it. You're right now sitting here just begging for it.
Any solutions? Or besides, go get it. I got that one.
Okay, well, first of all, what is your credit like?
It's a 639 right now.
Okay, so why did I immediately go there? Because if this guy, first of all, that first house, how much did you pay for that structure?
33.
Okay, I'm about to say, because he ain't making no money, so how was he couldn't have paid very much for it. You paid $33,000 for it. Okay, so getting equity out of that is not an option. If you're getting $1,500 a month, you're making not a killing but a slaughter. I hope it lasts. Next order of business is here's the problem. You can't use that house because it's not worth enough to buy another structure. And ideally you would want to be able to get a structure that's going to be worth more. You can't use your
It has gone up. It has gone up 3 times within the last 4 years that I've had it. It's up to 134 now.
Okay. Congratulations. I don't know how in the world something so miraculous like that can happen, but congratulations.
Gentrification.
Okay. Congratulations. By the way, how much of a house can you buy for $100,000 in Atlanta today?
More, either tax lien foreclosures or townhomes or condos. That's it.
Do y'all see what I'm dealing with over here, dude? What type of house are you gonna get for $100,000 in Atlanta? Even if you could cash that thing out for that amount, and you can't. But even if you could, what you gonna go get? What you gonna do? I'm trying to put some levity in here. This is not about me lecturing people. By the way, let me be realistic about this. It took 3 years to get to $100,000. Congratulations. That's not a $500,000 house you have. You didn't pay $33,000. It's going to be worth $500,000. That ain't happening at all. So even if I go along with your suggestion that it has tripled in value in just 3 years, which by the way is miraculous. That's not good. That's miraculous. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying I believe him. I'm just saying, okay, I'm not going to argue with it. But by the way, this house would be miraculous if its value has tripled in 3 years. There's no gentrification on earth that can cause that to occur. And I should know. I literally made the documentary about gentrification. So that literally could not happen. But you know what? I'll let it be what it's going to be there. Your credit is screwed up. And that's going to make it where you cannot really go to lenders like you need to. Ideally, you want to be able to go to lenders to be able to help you with this kind of thing. But you can't do that if your credit is sideways. So you're going to need to get that at least into the mid-70s so you can start making some real things happen. The VA is perfectly wonderful and fine, but I don't know how much you could actually do with that. That's nice and everything, but you're really going to want to start looking at a situation where you can buy these and sell them. Because right now, what you really need is the money. You're really going to need that more than anything else. Because you're about to tap out everything you have. And the reason for that is because you can only buy a house for so much money, and you can only charge so much in rent. Let me give you an example. Let's just say that you go and buy a very nice $400,000 house in Atlanta. Very nice house, very nice neighborhood. Here's the problem. What you gonna do? I'm gonna rent it, all right? But how much can you charge for rent in Atlanta? What's the max you can charge? And is the house that you bought in the neighborhood where you can charge that? So let's just say the VA gives you a house for $400,000. How much you gonna get off of that thing a month? Let's just say they pay $2,000 a month. Hell, let's say they pay $3,000 a month. I'm really going out on a limb now. Let's just say they paying $3,000 a month. All right, that's $36,000 a year. So he's gone from making $16,000 a year to making $52,000 a year. And he's leveraged to the hilt. So I just want you to understand, you want to make smart moves at this point. I want you to understand that. It's good to have stuff online. That's great. That's wonderful and everything. Do you have a realtor?
Yes.
Okay, you actually have a realtor that you deal with.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a smart move. And do you have a CPA?
No.
Okay, that's not good. Nobody who's trying to be in business needs to be trying to do this kind of stuff without a CPA, because there are tax breaks and tax advantages that you can have, and you're not good enough or smart enough to be able to figure it out on your own. You need somebody who does this for a living to do that for you. Everybody knows the three things I ask people about. Do you have an attorney? Do you have a CPA? And do you have a banker? In his case, do you have a realtor? Do you have a CPA? And do you have a banker? I'm asking. You have a realtor, but you don't have a CPA.
I have a realtor, and I'm with the credit union.
Okay, but you don't have a banker.
No.
All right. So the three things that a person needs in that situation: you need to have a CPA, you need to have a CPA, a realtor, and a banker. You'll get a lawyer here shortly. But by the way, of the three things you need, you only have one. The bankers and whatnot, those are people who can help you with financing beyond what the VA does. They're also the people that you want to talk to so you can see about moving into either commercial or multi-unit dwelling. But none of them are going to fool with you with a 600 credit score. And you can't make no moves with just $15,000 in the bank. So we are underfinanced right now. Up until this point, we haven't even really had the goals in mind about even what the dollar figure should be. But those are things you want to know about. Ideally, what you would do is look for a property that you could flip instead. Ideally, that's what you would look for. And that's why I asked you if you have a realtor. If it were me, I'm trying to get together with my realtor and whatnot and let them know, okay, these are my goals. This is what I'm trying to do. These are people who are not guessing their way through real estate. They know the market and they know how to flip that kind of thing because they deal with people all the time who do that. And you can let them know, okay, I'm operating on this penny ante level right now. I'm trying to do some bigger things. If they can't help you to do that, get another realtor. But they're going to tell you what I'm telling you. They're going to ask you how much money you got in the bank. They're going to ask about your credit score. Because if you're going to go to institutions, they're going to want to know what you got. Now, this is going to be a process. This is not something that you get into and it gets done overnight. You're looking at about a 5-year process. Which is why the sooner you get started, the better it'll be. But your next move needs to be the right one, especially if the VA can help foot another house, another structure for you. Next move needs to be the right one. That's my suggestion to you. Your financial situation is not strong enough to make really the kind of move you want to. You could keep trying to do some of these little smaller things if you want to there, but like I say, that's really going to be a hard way to go for that. Because how many of those type of deals are out there that turn out like this? Because I'm just looking at the $1,500 a month. You pay $30-something thousand, but we're able to get $1,500 a month out of it. How many deals like that, getting the right house in the right place for the right price like that, how many of those are available? in the Atlanta area, in a place where people gonna pay that. Seriously. So I'm just saying, you can't bank on finding 7 or 8 more like that. You can't bank on that. So if you're going to run a business, run a business. Right now, you're going to hear a bunch of things you don't want to hear. A bunch of folk telling you don't have enough money, your credit ain't no good. You cannot take those personally. You have to take that as, okay, they've clearly defined what needs to be fixed. Then you get to work on fixing it. That credit score needs to be over 700. You need to talk to your realtor and let them know what your plans are. And of course, have a CPA who can help make sure that you maximize your tax advantages out of it and whatnot. And they can also help you because CPAs work with businesses that are bigger than you. My CPAs are very good for advice, even though they do not really technically give financial advice. But my CPAs are very good for advice. They deal with people who are a lot bigger than me. So they've got experience dealing with those things, and they've got intimate details about other people's finances, and that helps me. So if you want to get bigger, you need to deal with people who are in bigger circles. I'm not asking you to go out and go make friends. This is all a part of your business. Your realtor deals with people who got a lot more real estate than you. A CPA will deal with people who make a lot more money in real estate than you. And your banker finances people who make a lot more money in real estate than you. Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Yes, sir.
So if you're going to do the the reason why I said the $90,000 ain't enough is because I'm telling you, you in Atlanta, take a look at what everybody else is doing. If you're going to do the damn thing, don't halfway do it. Go all in or go home. If you're going to do this, do it all the way. And there'll be much bigger risks, but dude, we going to do it, do the damn thing, or we not? That doesn't mean you go off and be reckless about it. That's what I'm saying. You're looking at about a 5-year thing here, and you're going to do your due diligence. You're going to have good advisors around you. Make sure that your realtor that you can actually confirm that they've dealt with some folks who got multi-million-dollar properties. Make sure so that you know what the advice you're getting is reputable and reliable. But if you're going to do the damn thing properly. You can't be undercapitalized. You can't have zero access to credit. And you're about to milk your military benefits about as far as they're going to be able to go. I would make sure that I deal with, matter of fact, talk to the realtor before you do anything else. Because they'll know what you want to do next, and they can help you as far as being able to maximize your gains out of it. I don't have enough time to be able to sit here and go into all the nuances of it and stuff because we're way long on this call already. But those are what you need to do right there. But number one, your realtor is going to need to know that you have $1 million aspirations. Because if you tell them I got $90,000 aspirations, they're going to help steer you towards one property, and then that's going to be it. When you tell them I got $1 million aspirations, they're like, oh, well, we gotta discuss things differently. Yeah, tell me about how to go through that door over there. I want to know how to get through that one. And even if you don't make $1 million, $500,000 will suit you nicely. Even if you fall short of $1 million, you'll still be sitting pretty. And your woman, if she's still your woman at that point, by the way, and your woman ain't gonna have nothing to say.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Mr. Black, B1.
Black first, brother. Like I say, I mean, it can be hard to hear stuff. You don't want to get in your feelings about it, though. We need to be cold and analytical and objective about it. We want to hear we can have it now. We want to hear $30,000 is enough. We want to hear that the woman going to be loyal. We want to hear she going to stick with us and she going to be all right. No, we cannot do this. We cannot do this. Caller from area code 973. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller is fumbling with their phone. Last try. Caller from 973. You're on live with The Business.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Okay, stop masturbating with your phone. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
name is Mark, and I'm calling from Paterson, New Jersey.
Mark from Paterson, New Jersey. I've been through there a few times at 1,000 miles an hour. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just had a couple of questions, some points you brought up. So let's see. So as far as like living in poverty, like you said, so me being of African descent, we're all of African descent, but I'm like a first generation African here in America, and I go back to the country a lot, and I met this girl like back in 2016, and she was pretty cool. She's a bit different. I would say raised to be a housewife, but she doesn't like you said, like when you said that thing today about the whole living in poverty and knowing how to overcome that. I think that might be her issue, and I called in to just pretty much see how would I be able to combat that. Like how would I go around that?
Why do you need to go around it?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Why do you need to go around it? That's my first question.
Well, for one, as far as like the lifestyle that I want to live for myself, I don't really want to live like an average life. And by average, I mean like a $50,000 a year or even $60,000 a year. I'm trying to shoot and go as high as I can, as high as I can go. And I feel like I'm not like having a woman around that's, financially draining because she doesn't really know how to manage her, her expenses.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay. Does she live with you?
No, she does not live with me.
Okay,
So
sir. Okay, all right. That's a yes or no question. I just everybody tonight when I ask you a question, yes or no, get there as quick as you can. Do you have a child with her?
No.
Do you have any children at all?
No.
Okay, dude, you sitting in the sweet spot. You haven't made any stupid mistakes that a lot of these other folk make. You're a complete free agent. There's no reason for you to sit up here and be. There's no reason for you to be sitting up here fretting about a female right now. Right now, as a matter of fact, your options in females are supposed to be open. That's the first thing. You're not supposed to be, because right now you're trying to commit to one. You're already buying the house and the white picket fence, and you're supposed to be focused on building. And she's supposed to be on the sidelines. She will be there. She ain't going nowhere. Okay? She might find somebody to lay up with it for a minute, but dude, she ain't going nowhere. You losing dollars. She's not going anywhere. So that shouldn't even be the focus.
Yeah, no, that's true. My father definitely did tell me the same thing.
Okay. We ain't listening.
He had an issue. He actually made that mistake. He was told by his friend when he was younger to focus on his finances. But, he ended up going with the marriage route instead. But I am focused on my finances.
Okay, well, if you're focused on if you're focused on the finances, then whatever she got going on is whatever she got going on. You're not here to be a bailout. You're not here to fret over her finances, nor are you here to be sweated by her for yours. You take care of you.
Okay.
She needs to take care of her and make it clear to her that this is the standard. And if she can't keep up, it is what it is. But you need to put your foot down. Okay. Stop being afraid of, quote, losing her. She needs to get herself together. If she does, great. But if she does not, she needs to be a drain on somebody else. She's not the last one. You know this already. She is not the last one. She ain't the one, and she's not going to be the last one. Stop fixating as if she will be. You're wasting time. Every second you spend on that is wasted because there's no return on the investment. Let her know I will see. What you need to do is boss up and push up and let her know I will see you when I come through, if I have time to do so. Women want a man to give structure. You can't be wishy-washy, and you can't be so afraid that you ain't gonna get them draws that you just tell her what you think she wants to hear. She needs to know what the deal is. She needs to know what position she gonna be playing. You let her know this is the deal, this is what I'm doing, and that's it. I will see you when I come through. If you're available, great, and if you're not, that's okay too. I have a life. A woman is looking for a man who got a life. I'm over here building. I'm on the come up. I'm trying to get resources together. I got a life. You are not my primary focus. You are not. My mind's on my money. My money's on my mind. That's my primary focus. And if there's time left over for you afterward, I will deal with that. But this is going to be important. Why? Because you bull jiving around. I'm trying to be rich. So I can't do it. Now, if you think you're going to find somebody else, if you want to be happy with somebody else, well, you go ahead and go struggle with them. But I'm not going to sit here and struggle with you. So this is the deal. You can take it. You can leave it. This is the deal.
So as far as everything you just said, I completely agree 100%. And I also have made those points to her. I'm a very direct person. I don't waste time. If I want something done or I want something a certain way, I make sure to get my point across very clearly. So I have made some of those points, if not all, to be honest. So my only other question, I would say, based on the response that you just gave me, is so I know that you're supposed to essentially groom a woman, and to be honest with you, from like I get enough attention from women, in my opinion. Like I'm not like at a need for an attention from women. So no, the reason why I say that is because I've had I would say decent experience dealing with a lot of women, and I just come across a lot that have a lot of the issues that we talk about here every live show. And in her I found certain personality traits, if you will, that I don't really see or ever recognize in the other women. That is why
but here's I'm taking it that you mean that you see certain positive character traits that seem unique to her, correct?
Well, I know they're not unique. Like I don't believe in the
right, but I'm just saying that are these positive character traits or negative ones?
Extremely positive. Rare, in my opinion.
Here's the issue. Okay, how old is she?
She is 24.
Okay, how much grooming you think you're gonna be able to do? She's 24 and you're what, 27? You said.
Yeah, we met. Okay. We met back.
Okay, brother, stop. Okay, that's a yes or no question. Yes or no. She's 24. You're 27. Got it. Fellas, come on now.
Yeah.
Here's the issue. You can't groom her. All right? You can't. You know why? Because you ain't got nothing to groom her with. I can groom her. I got resources. What are you going to do? What are you going to groom her with, and what are you going to groom her for? What are you going to teach her at 27?
Well, as far as the financial thing, that's why I was
brother, how much money you making now? How much money do you make a year now?
Right now, I make $60,000.
Okay, you ain't got nothing in the New Jersey area. You ain't got nothing to teach her.
Yeah.
Bro, you trying to get producer deference and producer benefits, and you ain't a producer yet. That's what I'm saying. You ain't there yet. This isn't gonna work for you. You have an aspiration, and that's good. That's good. But you're not there yet. So you're number one. She's not going to respond the way you want her to right now because there isn't anything to respond to. And number two, even if there were, you don't know what to do with it yet. Okay. So right now, you're trying to make her bro, she's not going anywhere. I need you to get this through your head. She ain't going anywhere. Dudes got whole damn me YouTube channels right now about females. Bruh, she's looking for a producer, especially if she's a financial drain. Let me tell you something. You fellas need to understand this. when a chick is expensive, bro, that heifer ain't going nowhere. Why? Because there's only a certain type of man who can deal with that. She's coming in the door as a bill. She's going to expect somebody to take care of that. She's only looking for a certain type because she feels she's entitled. Bruh, she ain't going nowhere. That's what I'm trying to. First of all, it's illegal to lock her in a basement, so it's not like you can just tie her down anyway. But second of all, she ain't going nowhere, man. And if she's expensive, when she shows up, she wants somebody else to pay for the restaurant. Okay, that right there is going to eliminate 90% of your competition. She's not going anywhere. She is going to be there when you get done building. The statistics say that. Is she black?
Yes.
Okay, 3 out of 4 black women are single. Duh! Bro, you got the desperation thing going on. I need you to shake that off. I need you to brush it off your collar, man. We got the desperation thing going on. You're going to say you ain't. Yes, you are. This is desperate behavior. This is scarcity behavior. You are entirely too focused on that. You know how I know? You will know that you're not too entirely overly focused on this when you are saying to yourself, I haven't got time to worry about her anymore, Jason. I'm too busy stacking. I'm too busy focused on that. I don't really got time to worry about what they doing. Because the first thing I'm saying to myself is, okay, if you worrying about what she's doing, what she's producing, how she's living and whatnot, I'm like, how do you have so much time to think about that? Because if you were on your grind and focusing on what you're supposed to be doing, you ain't even got time for that. You don't have time and you can't be bothered. Because you're too busy getting things done. So what I'm saying, bro, don't try to rationalize it, man. It's already there. Like, get gamed up as quick as you can. Stop trying to spare your feelings. Stop trying to argue way out of it. This is what it is. How long you been with her? Quote, with her.
We've known each other since 2016.
Oh hell, going on 5 years. So I'm just saying, bro. You've been with her for a minute here. You done already started making committal ideas in your mind. I'm telling you. You're not ready for that. You need to get your situation solidified. She gonna be there when you get done. Assuming you ain't completely bull jiving around. She's going to be there. If there was one thing in the world that I wish dudes had been saying more when I was your age, it was, man, y'all shouldn't be stressing out with these females because she's gonna be there. And then give you the explanation. The statistics very clearly say that. Well, yeah, but she's tell me, is she a financial burden? Yeah. Oh, ain't no dude gonna stick with that for no real length of time? Even your competition, no matter who you're afraid of, even for the 1%ers, she's got to be a hell of a fine-ass chick to be a financial burden. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, even numbers only, and be honest. When other dudes look at your female, on a scale of 1 to 10, what number would other men give your chick?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I can only pick one number.
Scale of 1 to 10, even numbers only.
Okay, I'd have to go with 8. I'm not gonna say 10 because everyone's different as far as.
Email me a picture. Email me a picture of her. I want to see her.
Okay.
I want to see this 8. My email address.
No problem.
My email address is handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. That's handlethebusiness@yahoo.com.
All right.
While you're doing that, I'm going to place you on hold here for just a few moments here. Go ahead and see about getting that to me there. When I see that, I'll bring you off a hold. In the meantime, let me get a caller from area code 212. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Now, the real issue is that this person is not actually asleep. This person was actually quiet until the phone came on. But this person might be experiencing some medical distress. So this person's telephone number is 212-365-8397. His telephone number is 212-365-8397. If you're listening to this live or recorded, this person sounds like they are in medical distress. They need assistance. So we want people to call them. If they're pranking people, we want to call and find out if their mental state is together. But by the way, this number is 212-365-8397. Again, that is 212-365-8397. Enjoy. Now you can enjoy the phone calls that'll be coming to you. I'm sure it'll be a gas. Jason, damn, you cold. Yes, I am. Caller from area code 501. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Sean. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Sean from Little Rock. What's on your mind?
Hey, man, enjoying the show. I just want to say that I'm at a stage right now. I am 42 years old, 2 kids, never married. When I was younger, I was taught that, you got to save for your future, and I've been doing that. But I feel like I need to do more. So my retirement, where I am in my retirement, is pretty stable, I suspect. But I feel like I should be earning more, because I feel like you have to earn your way to wealth. You can't save your way to wealth. So just recently I got into real estate. I was listening to the previous caller 2 callers ago, and I was like, wow. So just trying to see what can I do to get where I need to be. So, again, that's where it is right now, man.
Okay. Well, first of all, what I said to him would be the exact same thing. That'd be the exact same thing. I mean, it's you need to have, real estate is just like purchasing anything else. People kind of overcomplicate it, but it's like purchasing anything else. You're either going to pay for it with, somebody owns a piece of property, the only thing they're going to accept for it is money. You're either going to pay with your money or you're going to pay with somebody else's. That's going to be it. So the real question is, do you have the money? Okay, if you don't, you're going to have to borrow it. If you want to borrow money, there are conditions for borrowing it. Do you meet those conditions? That's the next thing. I mean, everybody wants to go off and go find some piece of property that is exactly however much they can afford, because if they can only afford $300, they want to buy a $300 piece of property, but they want the piece of property to end up being worth $300,000. It's not the way it works. So you say you want to get into real estate, or you are already in it?
I just got into it. I have a job. I'm in IT. I earn $80,000 a year.
Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. That's not what I asked you, though.
Sorry.
What I asked you was, you said you are in real estate now. Does that mean you already own some properties?
Yes, I own two properties.
Okay. You own 2 properties?
Yes.
Are you trying to flip them, or are you trying to rent them?
Flip one, rent one.
Okay. Well, how's that working out?
Well, I'm at the very beginning stages. This was 6 months ago, so I'm still fixing them up.
Okay.
The reason why I want to keep one, because it's in a commercial and residential zone. So
okay, if you've done your due diligence thing, you make sure you get a piece of property that's in an area that's appreciating in value. You certainly don't want an area that's going down in value. So don't just grab anything you can grab. Go grab it in an area that is being developed or is in the path of development. Those are the things you want to do. Of course, consulting that with a realtor is a very good thing to do, because they will tell you they do that for a living, to make sure you've done your due diligence on that. And then lastly, whatever your financial goal is, you need to make sure it coincides with that. So how's your credit?
780.
Okay. Well, your credit's good. How much savings do you have in the bank?
Cash on hand, we're looking at 50.
Okay. Not bad, not enough. But you already know that.
Yeah, that's what I've been. Yeah, correct.
Also, I'm not sure
I'm
not sure if Little Rock is the place that I'd be trying to do this either. There are probably other places where you can get better. I know you probably live up there. That's great and everything, but I'm not even really sure if Little Rock's the place I would want to invest that kind of money in.
I understand. Kind of here because my children are here, so I want to be here for them. But I'm definitely not married to the city.
Okay. Well, definitely, like I say, you want to go where the money is. I mean, that's important. So I would just also advise you to think that over as well. $100,000 goes a long way, but I'm just saying, it might also go somewhere else. You know, make sure you've weighed your options on that. I'm just saying, this Little Rock, I don't know if that's the best bang for your buck, because you want people who can pay you high prices for your real estate. Is there a place where people could probably pay more than that? I'm pretty sure you can do better than Arkansas.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you can do better than that. So, number one thing right now,
no doubt.
The number one thing right now, if I could give you anything else, I would tell you, boy, you got $50,000. I would really love you to have a little bit more than that. If you can have somewhere around 80 to 100, it's probably going to do better. You're also going to want, like I say, you're going to have a realtor, you're going to have a CPA, and you're going to have a banker if you don't have one already. And if you have a realtor, they can help you find a banker who can help you with that. But let them know what your goals are.
I have a realtor, and like I mentioned previously, I kind of like put a lot of money in retirement coming up because I was, like I said, it's how I was raised. So that's why I don't have a lot of cash on hand in the bank, because a lot of it is in index funds. So
okay,
and I got another account. I call like quote unquote my play money, which I
okay.
Do, like,
well, I really don't have to know all of that. But the real thing is, you're definitely right now. It's about strategizing for the future. So that's going to be important for you.
Yes, sir.
So you really need to be on top of that. So right now, you got money in the bank. That's good. Your credit score is good. That's great. You're not going to be a pariah to a lender. But now it's about making the right moves. And I'm aside from my apprehension of Little Rock, definitely I would want to know about, if you're trying to make, you're the only one who decide how much is enough for you. But if you're going to go in that direction, I say go all the way. So if you're trying to make more than that, you need to let them know what your actual goals are. And you need to have thought this through, because they're going to have more questions, a lot more questions than I have, and then be ready to answer them. But right now, what you're doing is correct. Okay. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying we might need to consider, based on what your goals may or may not be, you're going to might want to consider some things. But other than that, I don't have anything else.
Enough, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's not enough. Oh, it's not enough. No, what you have right now is not enough. No, it isn't. No, that's what I'm saying. I would feel a whole lot better if you had 80 to 100. Your credit score is good. I would want you to be more liquid than you are. Make sure that you have somebody who's already in real estate to be able to help you with that, so that you have properties that you're not just buying willy-nilly, but also that you're getting the best terms on. If you're paying a realtor, then if they have access to the I forget the damn thing, the MS listing, whatever it is. I forget the acronym off the top of my head.
MLS.
Yes, MLS. That's good, but also if they have access to the foreclosure lists and stuff like that are not necessarily on MLS, that's better as well. Like I say, but you got to pay. If you mobbed up with people, they'll give you the inside track on those kind of things. But the real thing is, I would sit and talk to them about, make sure it's a reputable realtor who's got a good track record and deals with this kind of thing. And that would be the only person I would talk to about that. I wouldn't just talk to any old body. It's going to be somebody who actually deals with this. They got a pedigree for it. Then you can let them know what your goals are, and then you go from there.
Yes, I have a realtor. She's very good.
Okay.
I did have a question though, if I'm able to.
Okay, because y'all are really off topic tonight, but go ahead.
My apologies.
Okay, well, go ahead and ask your question.
I'll be very brief. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Ask your question. Let's move along.
Yes, sir. So what do you think about leveraging the single-family properties and leverage that into multifamily properties?
I mean, you can. I just don't know what your ability to do that is right now, but you can. If you're, like I say, it's like with anything. It's like with anything else. It depends on whether or not you want to deal with the increased responsibilities of that. But yes, I mean, that's an option for you as well. You always want to be scaling up. So if you sell something, it needs to be for the express purpose of getting something bigger. So you don't do it for any other reason.
Correct.
So if you're going to do that, sure, go ahead and do that. But once again, make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure it's in the right place. Make sure it's something that is going to bankrupt you for being rehabbed. Make sure it's in an area that is increasing in value, which is going to be hard to do in Arkansas. You get the idea.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Brother, I've been waiting for your email to show up here. I can't wait to see this 8. And so far, I'm not seeing it. What's going on?
You didn't get the email?
I haven't gotten anything.
I sent it. May I get the email one more time?
It's handlethebusiness@yahoo.com.
Yeah, I sent it. Give me 1 second. Let me have a look.
Okay, well, I'm not sure what's going on there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a text message, okay? I'll send you a text message. That is a nice burner number of mine. Don't be offended. But you will be able to respond with a picture text message. So go ahead and you can just text that to me and I'll get that. And that way we don't have to deal with whatever this email issue is that you're having here. I know sometimes Yahoo can be slow about those things, but this is a little unusual. Did you get my message?
Yeah, I got the message. I'm sending the pictures now.
Oh, great. Well, on aesthetics, she could, but here's the problem, bro. This picture is so blown out. Do you have another one? Because this thing is just filtered to hell. It is filtered and face smoothed out to hell. So this is just filtered to hell. It's the filter is so heavy that it's erasing her eyebrows. So do we got something? And her face is literally blending into her hairline. So I can't really make a judgment off of this. I'm not going to jump up and say anything because I can't really make a judgment off of this. So do we have something that is not filtered to be damned?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I sent 3. Did you receive 3?
Okay. They just came through now.
Okay, great.
All right. Well, she could pass for an 8. All right, no wonder you flipping the hell out. All right. Okay, everybody. Well, he's young and he ain't really had nothing this fine before, so that's what's going on with him. He's 27 and he ain't really had nothing this fly before, so yeah, she's working that red bone magic on him. She's working that red bone magic on him, so he from Africa, he ain't really, I'm sorry, are you the guy from Africa?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he ain't really had a chick like that before, but she working that light skin magic on him. That's what's going on. So he young, but she working it on him. So she
is as well.
Well, she is what?
From Africa as well.
All right. Well, that's good. Like I say, I mean, this. I hope she ain't like the 2 African chicks that I've been talking to this week. I hope she's not like them. For those of you who are not members of my Patreon, loudy. But yeah, I hope she's doing better than the hood rat from Cameroon and the other one, by the way, because these African chicks have just, I mean, they beat me in the concrete this week. But yeah, now one thing I'm gonna say now. Okay, she draws on her eyebrows. That ain't so fly. So I mean, in the second picture you sent me, bro, that's damn near a unibrow. So she went kind of crazy with the pencil that day. So I'm like, okay, I'm seeing cracks around the edges there, but all right. She needs to cool it with the damn filters, because the picture that she has that doesn't have the filter, I'm like, okay, that's more what you look like. But okay, I mean, she could be an 8. If everybody's wondering here, by the way, yes, she could be an 8, but he ain't really had nothing that fly before. So he's like, hey, Jason, I'm not really trying to date one of I'm not trying to date one of your American bovine. I'm not really trying to date one of these American slob hogs. So I understand, bro.
That's not true, Jason.
Bro, I understand.
I've dealt. Not for real. I've dealt with you. I mean, I have a type, to be honest. I can show you other women that I've dealt with, and I would say they're cut from the same cloth look wise, because I do have a type. However, it's not really the looks, if you will. I'm like a planner kind of person.
Okay.
I like to plan before.
Let me explain a few things to you here, son. Let me explain a few things to you. You ain't really had nothing this fly before. You're not here to educate me. I'm here to educate you. You're not going to educate me on anything. You've never had anything. You've never had anything this fly before because you already said it. You already said, well, she's got certain character traits and they're just so rare to find in other women.
Yeah, character traits such as
okay, like, yeah, but let's be clear. Let's be clear. If she was built like Monique, would you still be hollering about how great her character traits are?
Of course not. No.
Okay, so as I said, the package is what's giving those character traits such an increase in value. Because all we got to do is change the package, and automatically you talking about, yeah, they don't really mean that much. No, they matter as much as they do because of the package that they're in. Get out of your feelings.
No, so
get out of your feelings.
I definitely agree with that. Looks is very important to me. You know, if I'm
talking
going to, take
quite a bit.
Yeah, but so I've dealt
for
with
the record.
This is attractive.
For the record, you're talking quite a bit. Now, you really got triggered off of that. You weren't yelling this much. You weren't yelling this much when I talked about the money part of it that you're not meeting the criterion on. So you put a high value on females. You don't put as high a value on productivity as you do on females. You are super argumentative to the point of almost being a hood rat on my phone here, bruh. I'm just going to be straight with you. You got real triggered when I said that. Now you want to sit up here and bump your damn gums? You got real triggered when I said that. Now, it doesn't matter if I'm factually correct or not. Take a look at how triggered you got. You're sitting up here trying to cut me off while I'm talking. No, Jay, you ain't like that right there. No, you don't understand. You ain't like that. This is that typical African nigga stuff right here. I'm going to say that like it is. Them dudes come over from Africa. They got a real good rap. They don't produce very much. They ain't really trying to produce nothing. Give them a fly female and a cute car and them tight-ass pants they love to wear, and they're done. But they ain't really about building like that. They're only about building to the extent that it attracts females. And if you want to know what they're really interested in, take a look at what triggered them. Now, the guy in the military got triggered when I talked about the money. Not you. You got triggered when I talked about the female.
So I'm not really triggered. I'm not bothered by what you said.
I'm telling you,
all I'm saying
you
is
are.
All I'm saying is
I'm telling you, you're triggered.
I mean, okay, you can say that. However, I'm really not triggered. I have dealt with women.
Why don't you ask the people watching and listening if you're acting triggered? Why don't you ask other people if you're acting triggered?
I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, why don't you forget me? Why don't we just ask some third-party people if this is a triggered reaction? Why don't we ask them? Forget me. Why don't we ask the people if this is a triggered reaction? Or if it's not, Jason I would react the same way. They ain't triggered. Yeah. Look, your female is all right. Your female is all right. Okay. She's not bad. She could be an 8. No problem. But what I'm saying is you called me. I didn't call you. You called me because you're having a problem. Whether you see this problem or not, I'm just bringing it to your attention so that other people can benefit. I'm questioning whether you'll benefit now. Because this phone call never should have even taken place is the problem. And it shouldn't have taken place because if you were really focused on building like you're supposed to be, you would not have the time to focus on this. But you are young and you are undisciplined and you are inexperienced. And that's okay. We all started off there, which is why I'm taking the time to correct you and say, hey, you got a cute little breezy. Perfectly fine. Okay. But you are making it the end all and be all. As evidenced by your behavior, not my opinion, not my thoughts, as evidenced by your behavior. Because she's taking up a lot of real estate in your mind. She's taking up real estate in areas she should not be in. She is a cause for concern in areas she should not be a cause for concern. And now that I have seen her, based on your age, your background, and the way in which you comport yourself and behave on my phone, I can see why you made this phone call tonight. You ain't used to having a lot of access. You're not used to that. You're used to female company. True. You are not used to having access to females who have multiple dimensions. Now that you're not used to. If you were, you would be behaving like it right now. And by the way, nigga, you can't say that. You've been with the same broad for 5 years. You trying to act like you're some experienced dude. You've been with the same chick for 5 years.
No, Jason, I'm only 27. I don't think I'm,
You've been, okay, thank you. You've only been, you're only 27.
No, I'll admit that in comparison to, I'm a young man in the game.
Okay, but you're talking about how many cute females you've been with. You're 27. How many cute females could you possibly have been with at 27 and just now making $60,000 at 27? Dudes,
90 seconds.
Y'all are sitting up here being defensive, and if they could hear themselves in 5 years, they'll be embarrassed at how defensive they're getting. It's like, wow, why did I ever try to defend that statement? Dude, you're 27.
No, listen, I stand by my
and
words.
He's still
talking.
Not
that I'm trying to defend. I do stand by my words. I stand by what I said. I mean, I didn't disagree with you.
There's
right?
a difference between standing by your word and still
talking. What I'm saying is, it honestly is
60
about personality
seconds.
traits, because I have been with women who are as attractive as her to me. However, they didn't really, they did not behave the same way.
And as I already said that before, you ain't never been with a chick this fly before. This is new to you, which is why you are all triggered and tantrum and emotional about it. And just understand, this is going to let females see what I see. They hear what I hear. And the hoes are going to be running you. You will not be running them. This behavior, son, you're on the phone with me talking about she's a financial issue. Dude, you don't know what to do with this one.
No. So what I'm asking you, right, my initial question
10 seconds.
I was asking you, how would you go? Really what I wanted to know is, say you become interested in someone who does come from a poor background and, was maybe raised in poverty in comparison to, I don't know, let's say the Western world. How would you go about getting that person acclimated? That really, to be honest with you, is the reason why I called. I still wanted that information. Whether I lose this chick or keep her, to be honest with you, to be completely frank with you, it's fine. I know there are more like her because I've had some like her, and I've seen more like her, right? So I know there are more like her. So I'm not discouraged at all. If it works out, if it works out, if it doesn't, cool, fine. But
one of the single mother traits that we notice is single moms talk and they talk and they talk and they talk. When they've been caught in something that shows they don't know, then they just start talking and they just go on and they just keep on rambling because they think that a bunch of verbiage is going to cover up the obvious flaws that they have.
But Jason,
what a man is supposed to do is a man stops talking. A man doesn't keep talking. Your mama ran your house because a man doesn't keep talking. A man doesn't do that. Even the caller in the military earlier who called, he didn't just keep talking. I want you to observe a difference between him and you, by the way. One of you is a man. The other guy is the 27-year-old from Patterson, New Jersey. One of you is comporting himself like a man. And these are all the things we see. Women sit up there, women from a certain class in society, sit up there and just ramble and just squawk and squawk and squawk and squawk. And I literally just sat here and let you keep talking for a full minute so people can hear. He's squawking and squawking and squawking. And by the way, some folk in the chat room caught it because the reason I let him keep talking was to prove a point. And the point is, he literally started off his screed, this rant he just went on for a whole minute, by saying, no, you say I don't know what to do with him. That's not true. I only called you because. That's being emotional. You had an emotional tirade. You literally said, Jason, you're wrong. I know what to do with her. And then immediately the next words out of your mouth were, I only called you because I wanted to know. If you
already
know, then you don't call me. That's your first
No,
clue.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong in what you're saying. What I don't agree with is, you saying that I think that she's the girl that I met, and
I am telling you that your
like
response only comes from one place. You think you are telling yourself that you are more cultured, seasoned, and in control than you actually are, and it is so obvious that what I'm telling you, this is so obvious that that's the real issue. The fact that you find this an uncomfortable truth doesn't change it. I'm going off your behavior. I'm not going off of what I think. I'm going off of what you're doing and what you've said. This is the first time that you met a chick who touched you intellectually and emotionally in some areas that was in this type of package, and you is sprung. And I'm saying, okay, you're young, you have very little discipline in that regard, you need to build more, but now that I've seen her, I'm like, oh, I see what the problem is now. Now I see what the problem is. Now, you can not like it. That's up to you. Go march back to her with the stuff you're on the phone with and see how far it gets you. Because just hearing me say what I said, that's not going to help you. When she gets them legs around you, everything I've said is going to go out the window and you're going to be right back where you were. But just understand, in a little while, it'll make more sense to you. It's not going to make sense tonight. It's going to make more sense to you in a little bit. I suspect it's going to make more sense to you in about a year from now. Mark my words. Okay. Everybody listening. It's going to make a little more sense to him about a year from now. It's going to make a little more sense to him about a year from now when she introduces him to the other fella. It'll make a little more sense to him then. It's not going to make sense now. It'll make sense then.
Okay.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight. Just understand something. When you're dealing with hard-headed niggas, like I say, I know it all. I know it all. Listen to me. I know it all. Okay, dude, please. Please. I met that chick. The chick you are sprung over for the last 5 years, nigga. I met her. Please. How many times? I'm not saying I met this particular female. I'm just saying, dude, this is your first rodeo. The way he's responding. Well, remember everything he said? Well, Jason, how do you groom her? I want to know how to groom her, and how do you teach her, and what are the traits that you identify here? And dude, you're focused on this one. If you weren't, you wouldn't even be asking these questions. I literally told you ain't got time to groom nobody. Then you go back. Well, I want to know if she comes from a certain background. What do you do? Okay. Spare my feelings. I can't do that. Can't do it. Caller from area code 773. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, Jason. This is Tara from Chicago, Illinois. Just just want to piggyback on the information you're giving these people and everything. Everything is on point and everything. Also, all to teach the people how to get the LLC, UCC1. And to conduct a business and everything. So I have 3 bank accounts, and I have 3 bankers, and also I have 3 lawyers, and I own 4 properties, and I have a pretty decent job, and I have over $200,000 in liquid. My wife and
okay, brother. Okay, this is an impressive resume. It really is. Did you have a question, or you just wanted to call up and tell everybody that you're balling out of control?
No. My question is, Jason, man. I really enjoy your commentaries and everything, and like I said, I'm here in Chicago, and you keep up the good work and everything.
Okay.
And the question is, I would like to lay on you is teach people about trust and UCC1 LLCs. We need to put them on game about that as well.
Okay, well, that really, I don't want to deviate too far from what we're talking about here tonight, but a trust can come in handy. That's really something for succession. That's not really something that everybody needs to do. If your money is straight and you now want to see about the future, if you're not certain if your kids or grandkids or whatever are going to be responsible, setting up a trust is a good way of transferring the money to them, avoiding a lot of tax implications without actually just dropping a bunch of stuff on them. So that can come in handy as well. As far as an LLC, that's actually dealing with what you're working with. It depends on the type of business you have, because an S Corp might work better than LLC. It just depends on what you're doing exactly. So that really just depends. But a CPA would be best to advise a person whether or not they want an LLC, or S Corp or whatever the case may be. It depends on specifics. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get a caller from area code 626. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Jason. This is Stephanie calling out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Stephanie out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm big in Las Vegas tonight. What's on your mind?
Well, I was calling because you said earlier about women not wanting to work. I agree with you 100% because, like, right now, I've been on a leave from my job since December.
You've been on leave? Wait. You've been on leave. Why?
Because I didn't want to be there.
Okay.
Everything like that.
At least she's honest.
Yeah, like I don't enjoy being in that environment. It's like what you were saying about the women with their nasty attitudes. It's just like it's so unpleasant in today's working environment because, like, people bring all of their issues in with them. Like, you can see it all over them. And, I mean, I certainly have issues. Every human does. But I do try and I know where I'm coming from. Like, I'm secure within myself, whatever that means. But, like, you have people in there that be like, oh, so you want to leave again? Like, well, how do you survive? How do you make it? Like, I got other things going for me. I'm not married. I don't have kids or whatever, but I do have a good situation with this man I've been involved with for 14 years. He basically, like, pays my bills, takes care of me, and I pretty much have that job just to do, like, get my nails done, do my lashes, like, whatever. It's like fun money.
Okay.
So then when I do show up for...
Well, she's living... What you're saying is you're living stress-free then is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now, did you send me an email?
I did.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't even notice anything.
I knew we were going there.
No, not necessarily. I don't really have time to look up email and look up people's social media all the time and whatnot, but she must have been looking for something. Either that or you trying to holler on the low. So... she's like, he's looking.
Who wouldn't want to be with a man like you?
Well,
however, that was not the reason for my call.
I don't know. My exes will be like this. Hazard pay. All right. Okay. Well, I mean, definitely. I'm sure you and him are having a hell of a time out there. So that's great. I'm not going to talk about another man's woman on the phone with him, whatnot. But look, are you? Well, here's the thing. How old are you?
I'm 38.
Okay, yeah, because you are cheesing in these pictures in here. So you don't actually look like you got... Now, I want everybody to listen to her right now. Does she sound angry, hostile, any of that mess? I mean, does she sound like that at all? I'm looking at you in 2019. She giving everybody a look at Cleveland. So she was feeling herself. Back in 2019, she was feeling herself. I couldn't help but notice she was letting them D-cups do what they do. Back in 2019, she was letting them D-cups. She was letting them D-cups do what they do. So I just couldn't help but notice in 2019 you was letting them do what they do. May I say one other thing?
Sure.
Have you given birth in the last couple years?
No.
Have you ever given birth at all?
No.
Okay, I couldn't help but notice, if I may, at the risk of making enemies on this phone, I couldn't help but notice she's putting on a little.
Very true.
Okay, old boy is treating you too damn well. That's what's going on over there. I've seen this before. I've seen it before. He done took you. I'm taking a look at these pictures on here. He's done taking you to too many places. All right, brother. Next stop, Planet Fitness. But I say all that slightly in jest, not completely in jest. But I mean, first of all, I like what you have on here. This is really good. Usually I get folk on here who are slutty on their Instagrams and whatnot, and that's not the situation here. She doesn't have a bunch of thoughtware on here. These are nice, couple of nice hotel rooms and stuff. I can't imagine where that's at, though. Can you tell me where that is? I'm curious. Because that bed looks hella narrow. Wait a minute.
That's here in Nevada. That's you talking about the one with the blue?
Yes.
When I'm on the blue shirt? Oh yeah, that's at Paris, Las Vegas.
That's where?
At the Hotel Paris
here
in Las Vegas.
All right. That bed's hella narrow. All right. I hope you got a good deal on that.
It is like the Paris is just it's not all that.
Yeah, y'all. He must have been sleeping in another room that night because that bed is hella narrow. That's like a park bench. How the hell you gonna sleep on that? This is like something from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I don't know who in the hell made that, but I'm like, all right, I better get a discount on this room because if you roll in this bed, lawsuit. But I like some of the stuff you have on. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I like some of the stuff you have on here. That's good. It's not a lot of the thoughtware that I'm used to seeing and whatnot. So he might have come up good. But let me find out here. How long you two been together?
14 years.
Whoa. Okay, she did say that before. 14 years. Do you have any kids with each other? Because you said you didn't have any kids. I'm coming back to revisit that again. Are you sure you all don't have any kids?
No, we don't. Like I was trying to explain, like.
Baby, how you ended up tied up with this man for a decade and a half and he ain't took you off the market yet? What are we doing? What is this?
Okay, so how the situation came about. Basically, my job is to basically just take care of him. Like you were just talking with the last caller, his father was a businessman, and when he passed away, he set up a trust and all of that. And so I was doing some volunteer work somewhere, and he's disabled. And I met him, and he just kind of
how disabled? How disabled?
Oh, I'm sorry. He's just in a wheelchair.
Oh, he's in a wheelchair.
Like he can, yeah, he's just in a wheelchair.
Oh, all right, he ain't going nowhere. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm like, oh, he ain't going nowhere. All right. And how old is he again?
He's 48.
All right, he's 48. He's wheelchair bound. All right, but here's the real question: are you okay with that? Oh hell!
No.
I'm about to break up another relationship out here. I didn't even know I was gonna do it.
It was never designed. It was never like a romantic type of thing.
Messed around and tripped up and about to bust up a happy home. Damn it!
No, it was never that type of romantic relationship. It was more of he felt like he could trust me. He was like, I don't know, it's just something about you, and like I feel like I could trust you. And so over the years, like he would like let on things little by little. Like he didn't give it to me all at first. Like I think I was taking care of him for like a year, and then he was like, okay, well I want you to meet my sister. And he was like this and that. So he gradually showed me all of this. And it turns out like he made a good bet on me. And
I'll let him be the judge if he believes it was a good bet or not. I don't think it was bad here. I mean, you certainly, like I say, you certainly are presenting yourself in a proper way. So I can understand why. I'm pretty sure you are hella cool to hang out with, which is great. I am going to make a couple of suggestions, though, just to make sure things remain like they are. Like I say, right now he ain't going nowhere, but yeah, if we don't hit the treadmill, he might figure out a way to roll the hell out the room. So I don't want that to happen either, because you got a cool little hustle right there, and I want you to keep getting your Anna Nicole Smith on. So I don't want you to miss out on all the other benefits. He might not be done yet. So I don't want you to miss out on that. But in all seriousness, though, my thing about you, though, is you're like, did you say you were 38?
Yes.
Okay. Do you ever want to have kids?
Yes, ideally.
Okay, well, baby, how much time you think you got to waste? Because if you met a fella tonight, you'd be like 40 by the time you reasonably could be expecting to do that. So what's the plan here? That's what I'm saying. What are we doing? Because if you actually want to have kids, this is not the way to do it. So what are we doing right here? If your goal is to have kids, it's not going to happen with him. After 14 years, if he really wanted that, he would have done that by now. So that's not going to occur. So what's the end game here?
Well, we've talked about this and everything, and I've expressed my interest in having children.
Okay, but
like
he does. Okay, but
and
he doesn't. You can express your interest all you want to. He don't want to have kids with you. If a man been with a woman for 14 damn years and hasn't gotten you pregnant, that's not accidental. You're cool as hell, but
no, I mean
he doesn't want to have kids.
Yeah,
he either doesn't want them with you.
Yeah,
he either doesn't want children or he doesn't want them with you.
Well, actually, he can't have children.
Okay, now why do you, without going into too much detail, exactly why is it that he cannot? I know you say he's in a wheelchair, but that doesn't always make that happen.
Well, when he got into an accident, he injured his brain, so they diagnosed him with something called organic brain disorder.
Okay, that's good.
So
I mean, I don't think that's a good thing. I'm just saying I know enough now. Okay, now is he a paraplegic or quadriplegic?
Not he can move. He's immobile. Like he has what's the word?
She just said he can move, but he's immobile. Maybe get your story straight. Which is it? Is he mobile? Is he immobile?
I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, okay, so he has a manual wheelchair, right? So he can get up and like use a walker.
Oh, he can actually get up and move around.
He would need some help
with assistance.
Yeah, he would need some help. He would need some assistance with the walker because it's the brain, so it's like a balance thing. That part of his brain messed up, like his balance, and he has
But you're saying, but you're saying that he doesn't. But you're saying he's not able to produce, to be able to have children. Then.
Yeah.
Okay. The last thing I will ask, and I'm only asking this because I just want to know to make sure I don't make any false assumptions. Is it because you all are unable to be intimate? Is that it there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you've been with him for 14 years. I mean, you put your time in the game, so I'm just saying everything you've done has been cool as hell. And, yeah, I mean, he certainly could have gotten a hell of a lot worse. You're obviously not a scandalous chick like that. So, I mean, I think that's cool and everything. But by the same token, baby, you've been rolling around with him since you were, pardon the expression, you've been rolling around with him since you were 24.
Yeah.
This thing is gone. You done waited until most of the trains have left the station. You might end up childless simply because you played the field too long. And I'm sure he's hella cool and hella easy to get along with. But if you want children and he is incapable of it, one of you is going to have to accept an unpleasant reality. One of you is going to have to. So he's going to have to let you get pregnant by somebody else, or you are going to have to give up any aspirations of having children. And I don't know how much longer your relationship is going to go on, because as a woman, if you got it in the back of your mind that, yeah, I told him I might not having children, but I really want them, eventually it's going to come to a head, and that's when the relationship is going to blow up. And you'll be really angry because you'll be like, well, I've sat with this nigga for 14 years, and in reality, I didn't even get myself checked out to make sure. Now I'm in my late 30s, and I really can't have children. Because it'll be a hell of a thing if you just assumed, well, I'll be good till I'm 40, and then you go to a doctor and they tell you, oh, you're actually past your ability to be able to do that. You're not going to have anything. That'd be a hell of a thing if that happened. But it happens all the time. You might have just assumed that your family's DNA is that strong. And I hope it is. But I'm just saying that's a hell of a assumption to make. So I hope it turns out better. But just be aware, you've waited until the last second to do this. And I know that you did it because you made the assumption that you'll be able to go get pregnant when you want to. So just be aware that that's what's going to be happening. And here's the other thing. Even if you do want to have children, if he doesn't want to have children, that's going to be bad. Everybody in the chat room, I'm not worried about her adopting or whatever. If she wants to have children, can she be in a relationship with a man who does not want children? He's in a wheelchair. He doesn't want to be chasing kids around. Or he's just happy with his life the way it is. He's never had to really work like that. and he's happy with his life the way it is. And you want to disrupt that and dump a bunch of responsibilities on him that he hasn't really, he's in his 40s. If he wasn't trying to do it in the last 25 years, what makes you think he wants to do it now? He's set in his ways. So I'm just saying, at some point, this, as nice of a lady as you are, and as refreshing as that can be, I'm just saying it's, that's a hell of a thing to have, because if he doesn't want them, you've basically reached the end of the road already. I don't know how you all want to resolve it, and I'm not going to tell you one way or the other, but because I'm not here to, I can't be your trust fund sugar daddy just yet. I can't do that just yet. So I'm not going to tell you, give up. You got a trust fund sugar daddy right now. I ain't going to tell you give him up, because the only way I could do that in good conscience is if I was going to step in his place, and I'm not going to do it. But I'm not going to tell you leave. I'm just going to say, just be aware at 38, you've reached a point where you are going to make a decision. Even if you sit and do nothing, you will still be making a decision. Even if you sit and do nothing. You've made the decision, because right now you have no children. If you sit still and decide to do nothing, then you have made a choice. You've made a choice to not have children. Even if you sit still, you're still making a choice. So if you are comfortable with that, go with God and enjoy it and just ball the hell out and whatnot. Y'all been together this long, hell, why break it up and mix it up now? But if that's not what you want, you might need to sit down and have a difficult discussion with him and say, look, I either need to adopt or something, but I want to have children. And if he does not want, at that point, if he does not want to follow you down that road, just be prepared for what comes next.
Definitely. Yeah.
Other than that, I think it's okay. You're just very nice. I do have to say that there, by the way, that you're very nice. I can see why he's been holding on to you this long. So I want all the women listening. By the way, ladies, it really does help. This dude has been taking care of her for a decade and a half. It's not rocket science. If you are not just a ridiculous, contemptible wench, dudes out there are waiting to take care. I mean, she's not the only one. She's just one of the only ones who decided to get some act right and take a look at that 14 years later. And I'm sure even with him, I know it's been some times you wanted to walk over and flip him out that damn wheelchair and kick him when he's on the ground. I know it's been some times he's tested you and whatnot. And that's beginning a relationship. You ain't been there for 14 years because it's been fantastic. He's in a wheelchair. There's times where he's going to be depressed, times where he's not doing things, and I get that. But it's a relationship like anything else. Now, how in the hell did she do this? And the rest of these females out here are just wishing and whatnot. Hell, there's a bunch of women who wish they could find them a paraplegic sugar daddy just to get them bills off of them. How is it? Ladies, right attitude, right demeanor. She doesn't look a hot, dripping mess. It's not rocket science. You all are not in the situations that you are in because the men are evil. You're in the situations that you're in because you stopped trying. And y'all are trying to get benefits without actually earning them. And it's not even hard to earn them, by the way. So, it is what it is. Now, I know what you're going to do next here, by the way. I don't blame you. I know what you're going to do next. You're going to hold on to him till you find the next guy. I'm not going to say that's necessarily a bad idea. Just make sure he's aware of it. So, I mean, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
I don't mean to be mean about it. I'm just saying.
And we've had these. Oh, I don't think you're being mean about it at all. Like, I think I just take people for what their intentions are. You're not being mean. You're just giving facts. And a lot of the times people don't like facts. They want to emotionalize everything. And I try my best as a woman, and it's really hard. But I try my best to just try to look at the facts of a situation and deal with my emotions about it later, because it's true what you say. Like, even though I'm a kept woman, so to speak, I'm still 38 years old and don't have children and always wanted to be a mother. So I'm still in a quagmire, and like you said, like, I don't know if there's fertility issues. I don't have any reason to believe that there is, but I don't know. There's all types of stuff that can happen, and the fact that I waited so long, that puts me in a very vulnerable position as far as children are concerned. But the flip side of that is that I've done very good work over here. It's very hard in this society to actually get along with the opposite sex. And like you said, he's in a wheelchair. There's a lot of things that go with it. I'm his primary caregiver. There's a lot that goes with that. So I understand the battle that's out there. But if you just, as a woman, if you just have you got to find something about yourself that's soft and feminine and try to spread that to as much of you as you possibly can. And men, they come to my rescue all the time. Like, I don't have really any worries about a lot of things, you know. Like, I grew up with brothers, so my dad taught me at an early age, like, you don't compete with your brothers. Because if you start to compete with your brothers, you're going to start to compete with man. And no man want no hard woman. You know, no real man worth something want a woman that's walking around harder than him all the time, that he has to constantly tell, don't do this, don't do that, you know. So I actually had to learn how to be a little bit stronger and take what's mine sometimes, instead of always being so courteous to the opposite sex.
Well,
if that makes sense.
Well, certainly I'm glad the things, you know, that you all have had a good relationship and whatnot like that works out well. Like I say, just make sure that you have what you want for the future. That's really important. I would hate for it to be, you know, for it to end on a sour note or something, or I certainly would hate for you to get to the end of all this and be bitter about it and things, because you feel like you gave up more than you received from it. But by the same token, you've been there 14 years. Obviously, it wasn't that bad if you've been hanging in there that long. So certainly, I think you got I think there's a lot the ladies can learn from your example about this and whatnot. And you should give classes on it. I think you'd be pretty good at that. Thank you very much for giving me a call tonight. You take care.
Thank you.
Let me get caller from area code 352. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mr. Jason. I'm calling from Gainesville, Florida.
Okay. What's your name?
Marquez.
All right, Marquez from Gainesville. Sounds like we just woke you up. What's on your mind?
You're right. I just got out of bed. I just wanted to ask you a question about me, myself, because I'm young, like 20 years old, and I wanted to ask you, like if I start trucking, like, would that be some good income for me when I hit about 27, 30?
All right, brother. Can you pass the drug test?
Yeah, because I don't smoke.
Oh, hell, he said, yeah.
Tobacco.
He had to think it over for a moment. Sounds like you would struggle to pass that drug test. Let me try this again. Would you pass the drug test?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, that sounds like truck driving would be right up your alley.
Okay. Can you give me a good amount, how much they make?
Yeah, I mean, I know truck drivers who are making $3,000 a week. I know a couple who make more than that.
Is that working for a company or having their own truck?
Both.
Truck and contract.
Both. The more experience you have, the more endorsements and the more experience you have, the more you get paid. Oh, yeah, and of course, you got to make sure them wheels turn and earn. You can't make that money sitting at home laying up with Bushika. That ain't going to happen.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jason.
Mr. Black. Folks, come on. This is not Gone with the Wind. It's Mr. Black, not Mr. Jason. No such thing as a Mr. First name. All right, everybody listening to me here right now, I did want to come back to this right now. Now, here's where we get into the dark arts. Oh, I'm going to upset some people, but before I leave, I did promise you this. Man, I might have to put this on Patreon. I might have to put this on my Patreon. I shouldn't really put this on YouTube. I should put this on Patreon instead. I know folks hate it when I do that. Why do you do that? No, you put the really good stuff on Patreon. Yeah, because over here on YouTube, they try to flag me. Be a bunch of folk hating. A bunch of people stealing. They'll put their sex dolls to the side for a few minutes and then go steal what I'm doing. But anyway. Yeah, we're going to dabble in the dark arts for just a few moments here. We're going to dabble in the dark arts game for just a few moments. I don't know. I'll decide later if I want to put this on Patreon or not. But for those of you who are not subscribed to my Patreon, we're going to get into the dark arts. Number 3. As promised, women truly believe that they're entitled to money. And I said, fellas, most of you are upset and angry about that, but you are wrong. You are wrong. Just understand that. You are wrong. That is actually one of the most useful things you can have. Because fellas, understand that is female nature. It is immutable. It is immutable. For those of you asking about Patreon, it's in the description of this video. It's in the description of every one of my videos. There's a link to my Patreon in the description of every video. You can see it there. But just wait. You're getting gamed up. Fellas, this is a part of female nature. And you need to understand that this is one of the most advantageous parts of female nature. Because now I'm about to give you what Rollo Tomasi, the Perfume Don, Candlestick Maker, The Butcher, Dullivan Sharp, Sex Doll Coaches, and everybody else don't know. Yeah, one of us lives this. The rest of y'all wait for me to say it and then try to rip it off and sell it to other people. Fellas, a woman does not want ownership. She wants possession. Now, most of you will be able to get so much more done. That right there has cracked the code for so much. I should be selling that. I should be selling it, but I'm not. Women don't want ownership. They want possession. You're going way beyond what she's even asking for. Like the fella earlier, I'm going to help turn her into a producer. Bruh, you're going way beyond that. That's not even what she wants. She believes that you need to produce and she is entitled to a portion. Now, how in the hell can you be losing to women if you know this? How in the hell can your relationships be turning out bad if walking in the door, you know that they are predisposed to the assumption that they have a right to a portion of your productivity? How is it you're losing any negotiation? When walking in the door, you know this is their expectation. How are you losing? It should be physically and mathematically impossible to lose when you're walking into the situation and you got the advantage. You know you have something that she wants. You know that you have something that, now this is even better than what women get from men, because they're what men want from women. Every woman is capable of sex. Only a certain fraction of the population has disposable income. And the more you have, the more you can satisfy her innate desire and belief that she is entitled to resources. If you know this is the innate position that she's coming from, how in the world are you losing? Fellas, a woman doesn't even want ownership. She wants possession. She doesn't want to own the luxury car. She wants you to own it. She wants you to own it, and she just wants to drive it, because that, for the female psyche, that is winning. Because if to get a man to go buy a car and then hand you the keys to it, that is an act of submission. Mic drop. You see, men and women both want submission. But what we're looking for is a different type. Her submission to you is not the same as what she considers your submission to her. It's not the same thing. So for a man to go for you, you think that her submitting to you is acquiescing to your rules and instructions. For her, it is providing resources. And the more specialized the resources are, the more she sees that as submitting. That's the submission she's looking for. That gives her status among other women. When she goes to the nail shop, other women are paying for their nails. She's got you to pay for it. That's flossing in the female psyche. That's flossing. That's bossing up. That is status. Yes, she can go buy her own Lexus. She can go buy her own, but that doesn't raise her status. Remember, a woman's money doesn't matter to men, nor does it matter to other women. To the women listening to me live or recorded, are you impressed by your female friends who make $100,000 a year or more? Do you feel like she's more of a woman than you because she makes $100,000 a year or more? No, the manosphere morons have never thought to ask these questions because they complain about how weak they are among the women, but they don't actually understand how power works. I ask questions of people that they don't ask questions of. To the ladies listening, we know that the men say that they're not impressed by how much money a woman makes, but as a woman, are you impressed by how much money another woman makes? Do you consider her to be more of a woman because of the money she makes? Do you consider that to be enhancing her femininity? That she is more desirable to men. Damn, she's more desirable. Take a look at how much money she makes. If I can make as much money as she does, I would be banging with the men. The men would respect me. They would change my tires. They would hold doors for me if I made more money. No. And I'm not talking about being catty. It's just as a woman, you understand that the money another woman makes, that femininity is not measured in dollars. Yeah, you can't be a broke ass, but femininity is not measured in dollars. You know that as a woman. Now, you are impressed by the amount of money that a man makes, but you're not impressed by the money that a woman makes. Because you're not looking for the same thing from her that you're looking for from a man. So the money that her man makes impresses you. You know that she's not going to pay for you to stay at home. And even if she could, you're not going to accept the offer. At least I don't think you will. So as a woman, money is irrelevant in that regard. Fellas, I want you to understand. Y'all need to start understanding that money buys goodwill. But at the same time, women don't want ownership, they want possession. When you buy the shoes, that is a token of possession. I don't just mean possession as in she wants to possess those things. She also wants things that show that she is possessed. She wants to bring proof. The shoes that you bought her, that's proof to other women of her value. It's not her saying that she's of a certain value. She's got a man who has paid for it. He is the proof that she has that value. The other women can dispute it, they can hate it, but they can't disprove it. Why? Because there's a man who's actually broke bread. So when you take a look at her shoes, you take a look at her clothes, you take a look at her jewelry, that's the proof. That's the proof. Money Money did buy it, but in reality, money can't buy that type of status. Without a man, money can't buy that type of status. Women do not want ownership, they want possession. Yes, she can go pay for her own Maserati, but that does not enhance her value. You know what does? When you pay for it. When she drives up to work in the one you paid for. If you don't know what it's like to have a woman when a woman gets to drive up to work in a brand new BMW 7 Series that she didn't pay for, let me tell you, fellas, she grinning from ear to ear. You're not going to be able to replace that. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I lived. She doesn't want her name on the title. She wants your name on the title, and she wants to bring that with her because that is her trophy. That's her trophy. When she gets to come up with that key fob, that's her trophy. When her coworkers ain't got a man who does that, that's her. They don't even have a man who has one of his own, and he's got so much excess that he can let her drive the damn extra one. That is status. That's status. Do you understand? And that's what they're looking for. So don't be resentful. Number 3, I brought y'all back to this. Say, don't be resentful of that. That's one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal because it is an immutable, irremovable part of female nature. That they draw value from what they can get from you. They don't just want it, they need it because it doesn't have value if they do it themselves. So you're already winning before you walk in the door, but you can't be winning if you're walking in the door begging. As a man, you are the only person who can upgrade her status. The shoes are worthless if the shoes are not worth anything. She wants to go stunt on other women, but she can't stunt on what she got for herself. She can stunt on saying, and by the way, yeah, the rest of you chicks up in here might have the same shoes. You might even have the same jewelry, but there's a difference between you and me. You had to go get it. Queens have people who bring that to them. You got yours by the sweat of your brow. I got mine with a wink and a grin. That's how you get status among women as a woman. I want the guys to understand that. And when you get your weight up, you supposed to keep a luxury car on deck. Oh, I'm giving you higher level game for it. As I pop my collar. But you're supposed to you need to keep a luxury, when you get your weight up, to the 27-year-old, and I ain't talking to you. But when you get your weight up, you're supposed to keep a luxury car on deck. You're supposed to keep a Bloomingdale's and a Nordstrom's on deck. You're supposed to be ready for that on deck. You're never supposed to lose in this situation. You're never supposed to lose. That's never supposed to be something you can lose. Fellas, the reason why this black manosphere that thing is helmed and captained by so many lames, giving out disinformation, half information. They can tell you half of it, but can't tell you how to close the deal. I'm the only guy you all have met who can actually tell you how to close the deal. Why? Because I closed them. The rest of these guys are speculating on what they hypothesize. But even you all can tell the stuff that they're telling you, Donovan Dull and the rest of them, is like, this is incomplete. This isn't actually practical. You're giving us your philosophies, but you don't actually know. You can't close the deal. My man TK Kirkland, talk about your high value contacts. Oh, I'm sorry. I ain't name drop. I don't like to name drop, so let me just fall back on that. But you heard old dude when he was talking about a company car. I need more of you fellas to understand that. A woman wants enough money to pay her bills. She is not looking to work to be affluent. That's why women are always broke, because she figures, well, affluence is the man's job. He's supposed to put me on. And as men, too many of you are so easily disposable because she ain't lost nothing. And what I'm telling you is the way you become indispensable is by changing her life so that when you leave, she's lost something. We talk about women and the value of them based on their exes. Let's take a look at the last 3 men you were with. Fellas, let's take a look at how the last 3 women you were with felt about you when you left. Did she go crazy? Did she go nuts? Was she throwing dirt? Was she trying to mess up the game for you? Did you even have a game for her to mess up? Was she trying to mess up your paper? Did you even have any paper to mess up? Was she calling you, trying to get back with you? Did she lose something? Did she have to do without something? Did she start gaining weight? Did she pick up a habit, a gambling habit? Did she start playing Candy Crush? Did she go into credit card debt? Did the loss of you throw her life into a tailspin? Because she lost her entitlement. Hell, a lot of you fellas, the woman's life got better after you left. If she feels entitled to your resources, you're supposed to be walking the door like, oh, okay, I got the advantage. Oh, it's the dark arts. A lot of folk are going to be upset about this. It's the dark arts. It's the dark arts. What I'm saying is that you're supposed to sit up here and maximize the value and the benefits of being around you. If your chick was able to go out and get the same thing from another man that she got from you, it was useless. I'm not talking about typical heartbroken. In the chat room, I'm not talking about the typical heartbroken. Some of y'all are talking about, well, yeah, she was upset and yeah. No, dude, if her finances wasn't wrecked, no. If there wasn't a financial element, if there wasn't an economic and monetary component, no. So many of you are used to dealing with other males who are powerless, and you're used to hearing about these subjects from a position of powerless and weakness. And what I'm saying is that number 3 is the one rule that most men resent. They feel like they're entitled to my money. Yeah, and you only feel bad about it because you don't leverage it. Because you think that women have something indispensable because you want it. Okay, but if you have been increasing your value as a man and producing as a man, well, you got something that she wants. And are you actually leveraging it, or are you giving it away like Halloween candy? If you're a man who's easily separated from your resources, then your resources ain't very damn valuable. If every woman has access to your resources, you're not valuable. She's supposed to earn that. But once she earns that, you're supposed to show her, oh, we're on a higher level. We're on a higher level. Let me tell you, there's no feeling in the world like that. There's no feeling in the world like that. But most of you guys are not used to being valued by women in that way. You're not used to being indispensable. I want you to understand that. A lot of y'all are sitting up here and whatnot. You're doing things you don't have to do. Go buy the car. Go get a second one. You don't have to give it to her. She doesn't even want you to do that. She wants to drive your car. She doesn't give a damn whose name is on the title, so long as she has access. You're the man. She wants you to give her access to this car, access to that hotel, access to this neighborhood, access to that store. She doesn't give a damn who owns it, so long as she is allowed to possess. And then when she gets bored, she wants to give that up. And that's going to happen. Oh man, y'all just got 10 tons of it right there. Y'all have been sitting up here reading books from other fellas and other people for so long. You've been listening to a trillion laws from a trillion clueless people and all these books, and they never taught you what I just taught you in the last 5 minutes. She just wants access to those things. You don't even really have to do any of that. She just wants access. Here's the problem. 95% of you guys can't even give them access. Then you get upset with the men who can. In the chat room, Miss Nelson. That's an interesting comment, ma'am. I would like to discuss that further. Why don't you email me your phone number? I'll give you a call. That's an interesting comment that you make. I'm afraid I'm going to have to insist on speaking with you now. But that's an interesting comment that you made. She doesn't have to ask. She's got my email address. But, yes, Miss Nelson, I'm talking to you, ma'am. I want you to go ahead and email me your phone number, and I'm going to give you a call up, and we can discuss that. That's an interesting question that you ask. We should go ahead and discuss that. Because I'm not telling you all what I think, I'm telling you what I know. And I have no problem whatsoever discussing that or defending that. No problem at all. No problem at all. I can do that. I'm not one of these other fellas out there. I can do that. I can do that. I want you fellas out there to understand exactly how that works so that you can know exactly what works for you. I don't believe that, a woman cannot fully come into her womanhood without a man. But a man cannot fully come into manhood without power. Miss Nelson, my mods just posted in the chat room for you. You playing around. It would be a shame if you got removed because you acting like you don't know what the email address is. Handle the business at yahoo.com. D. Tubman just posted in the chat room. That would be a shame. Handle the business at yahoo.com. I would suggest you get it together. It would be a shame. It'd be a shame. Yes, ma'am. Not who. We're talking to you, ma'am. Who, me? Yes, you. Yes, Miss Nelson, we're talking to you. We sure are. While we're waiting for her to send her information here, a man cannot truly come into his manhood without power. A man can't come into manhood and be weak. Manhood and weakness are anathema to each other. You can't do both. You cannot be fully masculine and simultaneously be weak. Those two are against each other. Those two are counter to each other. They neutralize and negate each other. You can only come into your fullness as a man if you're able to exercise power. That's just it. That's just it. And if you are not able to exercise that, you will not get the respect of others. You won't get the respect of women. You won't be able to get the respect of yourself either, by the way. So it's not going to work unless you have some type of power of your own. And sexual power is not actually power, by the way. It's not actually power. Understand that too.
Please leave your message for...
No, that's not
Jimmy
good,
Nelson.
That's not good, Miss Nelson. We just called you once. We're going to try this again. I would hate for you to get removed, ma'am. We're not going to play that game with you. You gave a phone number. If you're not answering it, just understand, if you get removed, you did that to yourself. Just be aware. No, I will not unblock it. Not without the fee. I know folks are out there trying to
Please leave your
hijack that. Ms. Nelson, you've been called twice now. We will call you one last time. If you do not answer, you will be crossing that great divide. So just be aware. She doesn't have to answer it if she does not want to, but just understand, if you don't answer this time, you'll be removed. Just understand that. Nothing personal. You cannot play on my phone or my chat room.
Please leave your message for...
Okay. D, I meant what I said. Miss Nelson, you are going to be removed. You will not be allowed to come back unless you pay the chat room reinstatement fee. No, ma'am. We're not playing. And I see in the chat room what she did was she put up a thing with a bunch of laughing emojis. This block will be no laughing matter. I'll take care of that myself, D. But this block will be no laughing matter. Folks can say whatever they want to. They can believe whatever they want to. That's perfectly fine. Folks, when we say you have to call up, you have to call up. So, just understand that. It is not optional. You can dispute what we say. That's perfectly fine. You can do that. You cannot do that and then continue posting in the chat room. I have a forum where you can speak. I do not have a forum where you control. Now that you will not be allowed to do. And furthermore, if you can't defend, if somebody says you need to defend what you said and you can't defend it, then you shouldn't even say it. By the way, if you can't defend it, if you're such a sorry sapsucker that you can't defend your thought, then you shouldn't say it. You shouldn't even say it. The real issue is there are a lot of, and let's just be honest, now I'm not capping on Miss Nelson, but there are a lot of plus size chicks who they're not really eligible for benefits. So they get upset when we have discussions about women who are able to get unearned benefits from men, because they ain't really never got it like that and they're not eligible for it now. So they get upset when that happens. Plus size chicks, you know, they're very good for telling you that they'll go to work every day. Well, yeah, because you can't get a man to do nothing for you. So of course you're going to say that. You're not eligible. So of course you think it's going to be bad. Yeah, you're not eligible. I'm talking to the women who are. I literally just got off the phone with a chick who a dude been taking care of her for 14 years. 14 years. And she brought her proof. She brought her proof of what she's receiving. So just understand, for those of you who are not eligible, I know you're triggered. I know you're angry. You gotta let that go. You gotta let that go. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. Just understand that. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight, man. We've been going on for almost 4 hours now. Come on, how do I keep doing that? We have done it again. For all of my long haul truckers, my night shift nurses, my warehouse workers, my stay at home parents, my self-employed people. We done got you halfway through your shift. We done did it again, but it's been my pleasure to do so. I hope we've been able to illuminate that for you. I'm going to leave this on YouTube. Y'all can stop yelling and screaming and crying. I can hear it already. I'm going to leave this on YouTube, so don't get mad about it, but soak up the business. We've been giving it to you here tonight, so definitely you want to get the most you can out of that. If you haven't signed up for our Patreon, you want to do that, by the way. We've gotten a lot of subscribers here, especially in the last couple of months here. They're loving what we're doing over there. Some content and things I can't have over here on YouTube because, you know, they want to be flag happy, but that's perfectly fine. It goes down on Patreon. Definitely go see what they're talking about. It's going to be worth your while. The link is in the description. Come check it out. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.